real issues. Yeah, I mean, while you're making
Guys,
Mario, I'm
fellas,
making.
Fellas, what did I say? We're live.
Are we live?
Yes.
Sweet.
Literally
I
look
tried
at the
to get a word
comment.
Spazzy came in bragging about how he has real life issues, which
Oh,
is a
boy.
weird
Yeah,
thing
man.
to brag about.
I have real rap battles. They're not historical, man.
Oh my god.
On the streets.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, we were just talking about how Mario Maker 2, where you should just comment on anybody talking about Mario Maker 2. You should just say, well, I'm dealing with real life right now. I'm not
Issues,
dealing
yeah.
with Mario Maker.
With this Mario Maker bullshit. Who has time? Who has time, man?
All right, well.
In today's political climate, I have a lot more to worry about.
Oh my god.
Well,
Then
unfortunately for you, Spazzy, this is a gaming podcast, I think you'll find. And with that, hello everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Good Morning Source Gaming. I am your host, NantenJex, and joining me today are regulars KawlunDram and Spazzy D.
Hey, guys.
gamers.
And
What's up?
That's terrible.
Hey, we
The
don't.
worst.
didn't do that in unison very well, did you?
Yeah.
We need to work on something.
But also joining me today, I should say joining us, not just me specifically,
I asked. It's all of me. I'm so great. Sorry.
is our very special guest, Scott the Woz.
Hello, hi. Just a fair warning, I'm a bit under the weather right now, so we have my tea, my water, and my tissues ready at standby, just in case. It's a bit of a cough and a bit of a sniffling, a bit of a runny nose, so everyone is here. So it's just how it is. So
Scott,
I'm sorry.
say the line. Say the line. Say the thing.
Say the thing, and then we'll say it like we were the first people to ever have you on as a guest that thought it would be clever to do it.
Hey, all, Scott here. There you go.
No, he did the thing!
Oh my
Get that
god.
clip from The Simpsons where everyone in the classroom is like cheering. Bart, say the line.
Oof. That required some lemon honey tea. You see, I got a Keurig, and I only use it when I'm sick. That's literally only when I use it, and it's been working overtime this week. Oh my god.
I'm going to say you've been at a convention at the beginning of this week, right? Or
Yes,
last weekend?
I was at Too Many Games. That was the first convention I was ever at, and it was very interesting as a first convention. Like I've never been to one before, and it was really cool. I bought way too much garbage that I'm never going to use. I just walked around the vendors. That was primarily how I spent the weekend. Is I spent it talking to people, whether they watch my videos or like they're other YouTubers or people or anything like that. But I mainly spent it doing that and also walking around the show floor, checking out like all the vendors and booths. And I bought like a ton of stuff. And I recently put that all on my shelf. But yeah, that was pretty much how I spent the weekend. And then I did a panel and a signing, and that was about it. But it was really cool. Albeit I am very tired. I am very tired.
I'm not surprised at all. I feel, Kawlun, you were there, weren't you? Too Many Games.
Yes, I was also at Too Many Games.
Yes. Well, we can talk about this both later then. Usually when we start Good Morning Source Gaming, we kind of go over how everyone's doing and what games they've been playing. Scott, have you had any time to play any games this week?
Okay, so on the flight there, I whipped out the Switch because I've never been able to relive a Nintendo Switch commercial.
Yeah.
So I did play a little bit. What did I play? I played Box Boy and Box Girl. I played a little bit of Contra Anniversary Collection. I played a little bit Picross S. And I think that was honestly about it. I started Skyrim on the Switch, but I only got like 5 minutes in, and then the flight landed. And that was about it. So I didn't play my Switch as much, but then on Friday I started Mario Maker 2. But I started Box Boy and Box Girl, and I don't know. Has anybody played the Box Boy games?
Oh yeah, I love the Box Boy games.
This was my first Box Boy game. I thought it was okay. It was just like whenever I was playing it, I had this like feeling where I was just like, I could be playing something else. Like, it was good, but like I had this constant feeling where I was just like, I could be playing something else. So it's just like,
I think
don't know.
Box Boy and Box Girl works really well when you actually have a second person to play it with, because
Yeah, I
you
didn't
can.
notice that.
It's got like its own campaign with its own missions and everything. It's like an entirely different game. And me and a friend did it and spent the whole time doing as much exploiting as we can to use as little boxes as possible. We managed to complete one whole level without using a single box once, which is pretty
wow.
wild.
Well, that defeats the entire purpose of the game
Right,
there.
You're like that jerk that's like, I can beat Mario 64 without jumping. Watch. I'm like, God, but
Yeah.
I can beat Mario 64 without Mario. Like it's just like it's
well,
part of the
fun, man.
title.
That's
there.
Not getting
Hey.
a single
alright.
star.
Yeah.
That's actually how
Yeah.
you beat most MMOs. You just stop playing. That's the secret. People don't know.
Well, that game is like surprisingly like dark. I guess it's not surprising because it's HAL, but I played the single player campaign and you're going around saving all the children and they're teaching you new abilities, and then you do it in co-op mode and all the children you save just die. Like
What?
every single one. They give you your ability and then you go on and they just fade to dust like they've been Thanos snapped. And I was like,
Oh,
Jesus, Hal. Come, what the hell, Hal? What's going on? Did somebody
Yeah,
hurt
I mean,
you?
I was just like, that was exactly what I was expecting from a game called Box Boy and Box Girl. So, can't believe I wasn't more positive about it. But it's fine. It's just, it was one of the, like I said, it's one of those things where I'm just like, there's a billion other like puzzle platformers on the Switch. I'm just like, yeah, I could play that one or that one or that one. But it was still pretty good. And I tried out a little bit of Contra Anniversary Collection. And that was those are very well done. The new anniversary collections that Konami's put out.
Mm-hmm.
I think only the Castlevania and Contra ones are done by M2, but then the Arcade Classics one is done like as a part of the Arcade Archive series.
Oh, okay.
But the anniversary collections are very, very well done. I think that was like, don't quote me on this, but this is like one of the first times that the original Contra on NES was re-released. Because usually
Yeah.
Konami either does the arcade version of Contra or Super C on NES. I don't know when the last time they re-released Contra NES was.
I know that Contra NES was released on a PC collection, which contained Contra, Super C, and the first 3 NES Castlevanias back in like the early 2000s. I don't think the original Contra was released on the Virtual Console for the original Wii. I'm trying to
Yeah, I don't really remember that.
That's the only time that I think it may have been released again. But yeah, besides that, they just love releasing the arcade version.
They love Super
C.
C, man. They love re-releasing Super C as well. That was what was on the NES Classic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't put Contra Force in the anniversary collection. But
Oh man, people I forgot that was a thing.
yeah.
They should just put the NES G.I. Joe game they made, the license game, and just take out all the G.I. Joe characters.
Well, I
I
mean,
would've
that's
done the
basically
difference.
like what they should just make like all the anniversary collections they do in the future. They just like, we'll just fart out this one game that we made, but put Contra characters in it. Just like- That's like if they do like a Mario collection later on, and they like put in Metroid, but they replace
yeah, that'd
Samus
be great.
with
Yeah,
Luigi.
no, like I feel like Capcom should do that for all their NES collections. They're all like, yeah, look, this is a Mega Man collection.
Yeah, look, we got more games. It's just like, yeah, we have the entire Mega Man NES game series on this collection, all 24 titles. And you're just like, what?
Right.
This is clearly DuckTales.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the new Contra that was announced, Contra Rogue Corps?
I think it looks
I think-
terrible.
Yeah,
like everyone else, we're all like,
I didn't know how to read the room because like I see a few people saying it's just like a new Contra and that's it. And immediately when I looked at that game, I was just like, this looks like garbage. And then
Yeah.
like it was revealed to be a Contra game, and I'm just like, this looks even more like garbage now. It's just like,
yeah, it's like I'm not a big wrestling fan anymore. When I was younger, I was, but it's kind of like when like an old wrestler you like comes back and you're like, oh my god, he's back, and then you look at everybody, you're like, man, that guy got fat. Life was not good to him. He's like,
yeah.
he's like
At
dragging
least this
there.
is like,
It's nice to see him. It's nice to see
Yeah.
Contra.
but it's just like it invokes a lot of the spirit of like the weird era of Contra when they did a lot of overhead junk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just
Yeah,
like, I don't think many people look back at that as like with fond memories. I think people, like at the very most, people are like, that, like out of all the overhead Contra games, the nicest they could possibly be is like, oh, that one was okay. But like most of them, people are like, we'd rather just have like 2D
It's-
side-scrolling Contra.
It's not only that; it's the top-down sections of the 2D games. Like no one's all like, "Man, I love playing." Like it's a chore when you're playing Contra 3 on the Super Nintendo, and you're like, "Oh, hey, it's those top-down levels."
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, and it also just graphically looks garbage.
Yeah.
Like it just does not look good.
Yeah, the graphics and the
there's-
frame rate is what got me. When I was watching it with my friends and it all came on, there was a big oof around the room. As it was just like,
Yeah.
oh god, why does Konami keep doing this? 'Cause I remember Super Bomberman R didn't look very good when it first came out as well. Like,
Yeah,
it looked
that's-
better than this.
Yeah,
but
Bomberman
it
R
looks-
had this weird lack of
weird.
polish.
Yeah.
Where it's just like 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 when an enemy dies in that game, they just disappear. Like they just
just
like there's
vanish.
no like fade out, there's nothing. They just pop and they're gone. I just always found that to be weird.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's not like the most colorful game for like the cutscenes in Bomberman R are like so stylistic and they're so nice looking. Like they have that like kind of like that flash animation art style, but I think it works really well. And then you go to the game and it's just the most generic 3D models ever, and it's just like it's very like not the most colorful, and it's just like. But at least that's actual Bomberman. And then Contra Road Corps, I just don't think anybody looked at it and they're just like, hell yeah, Contra's back. It's just like it doesn't feel like that to me. It just
Yeah,
feels
like-
like
Yeah, like I said, it's like going past the wrestling. It's like really, it's like just seeing any old friend that you haven't seen in a while, and you're like super excited to see them, and then you're like, man, life hasn't been good to you.
yeah.
It's nice to see Contra. I would have liked to have seen Contra under better circumstances.
Yeah, it just doesn't look that great. I don't have the highest hopes for that game. I don't even think I'm like interested in picking it up. I'm just like just doesn't look that great, but it's whatever.
I'm wondering if it's the same team as Bomberman, because they've been doing a bunch of weird Switch exclusive titles that all look really meh, and like so there was also Hypersports R, and Hypersports R was just like not a good game. I'm not even sure if it actually came out. I just remember playing it last Gamescom and being like, this is not good. This is not good at all. But it's always
I
to be
do
fair-
remember hearing like, oh, Konami's announcing a new Switch game, and everybody was just like, and then it was like Hyper Sports R.
Yeah.
Everybody was just like, oh, okay. That was about it.
But they also did like Zone of Enders last year, and I know it's a remake of the second Zone of Enders, but that was at least a good game.
I
So I
think
just
they
That was
don't
a
have the
VR
development
one,
staff
right?
there
That
anymore.
was like a VR version. Okay,
there
yeah.
was it had a VR campaign in it. It had the original campaign and then a VR campaign, and the VR campaign was only like 4 missions long, I think they said. But then the actual one,
Yeah.
but I played it in the VR. It was pretty good in VR, but like that was a far more polished game than Hypersports R, Bomberman, and now Contra look. So
I don't know.
I
I
mean-
think Konami has a bar where they're just like, we gotta make it meet the Super Bomberman R standards, and like they just have like this like bar where it's just like, all right, this is competent, and then that's about it. It's weird. It's weird that they chose to do like these specific types of games when they're so indifferent to like playing ball in the video game industry, because it's just like. You would think like they would put out like a more traditional type of Contra game just to get the money from like people who like Contra, but no, they do this. And
It
I'm
does
just
not.
like,
It does not
what?
take a lot of resources. I feel like to make a 2D Contra game.
just port the
Well-
one that was on mobile phones, but only released in China. Like that's
That
a 2D
sounds
platformer.
It's
They
weird
could, they
because
could pull like a Sonic Mania type thing where they just pull like kind of like a best of thing with all the Contra games.
That's what kind of Contra Rebirth was on the WiiWare.
Oh yeah. I never played that one. I only played Castlevania Rebirth.
Yeah, Castlevania Rebirth was just a complete reimagining of Castlevania Adventure for the Game Boy, but
Yeah.
Contra Rebirth was actually like, hey, here's some stages from the Genesis game and the Super Nintendo game and some remix versions of this stage. So it actually was like very much like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, they could just do another one of those, or they could just port Rebirth.
Rebirth.
Because, like, because you can't play it anymore.
Yeah.
so
They
just
need to
like
do a
whatever.
Rebirth collection. I think maybe the only reason they don't want to do a Rebirth collection is because that would mean that there'd be a working Wii U emulator probably. on
Yeah,
Wii
but I think
emulator.
M2.
Wii
I think
emulator, I mean,
M2
yeah.
developed the Rebirth games, and they were the ones that did the collections for Konami.
That's
So it's just like,
because they definitely should have
weird.
put Rebirth on the Castlevania collection instead of the Game Boy original.
That was weird. That was weird how they announced all those, because they announced they were just like, all right, we're doing Castlevania, Castlevania 3, Castlevania 2 on the Game Boy, and Super Castlevania 4. And everybody was just like, oh wow, like they're trimming the fat. They're not doing all the bad games. Like we're gonna get like some weird things. Like we might get Rondo of Blood, or we'll get Bloodlines and stuff like that. And then they announce everything. And they
like,
say,
Kid
no, we're
Dracula
actually doing
was
Castlevania
surprising.
2, and we're doing Castlevania The Adventure and stuff like that. It's just like, why did you wait to unveil those?
Yeah, that was weird. Like, you just thought they would have just done Castlevania 1, 2, 3, and Super
Listen,
Castlevania
guys,
as the
Konami's
first.
like kind of trying again a little bit. They released literally, I believe, one game in all of 2018. So, like, give them a break. Like, they don't have any developers. It's like, let's see, maybe they can do something. I don't know. The last good Contra game, I guess, was Rebirth, but
That was like one of the last ones before they didn't make any.
yeah, and then Contra 4 was
Way
good.
Forward,
I'd love to
Way
see,
Forward, wasn't it? Contra 4?
Yeah, it was Way Forward developed.
Yeah.
It was actually our buddy James over there. That was the first game he worked on, was Contra 4 at Way Forward. But it's like Contra 4 is really good, but unfortunately, I feel like there's this entire generation of awesome DS games that's never going to be ported to anything because of the dual screen format.
Yeah, I was thinking that because I kind of want them to do another Castlevania Anniversary Collection. I know some people were speculating on it, but like the Metroidvania style one, so the Game Boy Advance games, Symphony of the Night, Rondo of Blood, but then like. Rondo of Blood's not a Metroidvania one, isn't it?
But it just, I feel like that
it's kind of connected with
collection.
Symphony of the Night, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, and then the DS ones, because the 3DS ones are all really, really good, but they require, somehow modify it so that you don't require the second screen. Because I don't even remember what a lot of them required the second screen for.
I mean, well, do you guys remember Contra 4? Like, have you guys played through it? Actually?
I haven't actually played it. No, I'm not a massive.
I know what it's all. That's actually one of the ones I haven't played. It's one of those games that I could never find, like physically. It's anybody else ever have this thing where like you can never find a game in person, and then you're just like, screw it, I'll just buy it on eBay. When you buy it on eBay, you see it everywhere. After that, I had that happen with like stupid, weirdly enough, Sonic Gems collection on the GameCube. I was just like, I can never find this game, and I'm just like, all right, I'll buy it on eBay. And then like the next day when I go to like a game store, they have like 4 copies of it. I'm just like, that unrealistically pisses me off. Like I had a bad day that day where I had to buy Sonic Gems collection on eBay. But it's one of those games where I've never seen it in person, but I know how it works, where the action goes on both screens.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just it's very vertical game.
So yeah, I'm not really sure how you would port that. I mean, I guess you could, because it's like you just have to, like, it could come to the Switch and you would have to play it in portrait mode, which would be weird. Or portrait mode.
That sounds like a dream. That sounds like so fun.
Just comes with one of those flip grip things.
Or with like giant bars on each side and just very, very small screen.
Just put both. Do what the Dr. Kawashima did on the Wii U, and just put like both screens side by side. The top screen on the left and the bottom screen on the right. Do that.
I could imagine that being like a weird thing they do for a Switch revision, is allowing like to slot in the Joy-Cons into like a vertical grip sort of thing with the system.
Yeah.
I think that'd be an interesting thing to add to like a Switch revision.
Just release a Switch U accessory that lets you stream on the controller and the TV at once. Be perfect.
Well, you need two systems for that. So I'm like, I see people go, it's just like, man, what other Wii U games can they port to the Switch? Well, they can do Nintendo Land, but you're gonna need 2 Switches. And then people are still like, I think it's likely that they do that. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm surprised they haven't done something like that yet.
Give them time. It's Nintendo.
Yeah.
All right, Colin, how about you? What games have you been playing this week?
Mario Maker, and then I don't know. I mean, there's one that I have been playing, but I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it because it's under embargo.
Probably best not to then.
Yeah, so I won't talk about it. But
You're making it sound a lot more exciting than it is, Colin.
it really isn't that exciting. It's like a 10-year-old video game that's being ported. I'll say this much: it's a really good port. That's all I can. That's. Now you have to guess what it is.
Yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments.
Well,
but
good
the
port, so that narrows it down.
But no, I
Is
just
it a port of a good game or a port that's well done?
No more hints.
no more hints.
Gotta keep it ambiguous.
But no, I've been playing Mario Maker 2 because that was like the big like. Oh, I mean, I kind of need it. And then Metro 2033, which is like the complete polar opposite of Mario Maker.
Yeah, everybody here was just like, yeah, we were playing Mario Maker 2 and Metro. The combo, you know.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you gotta bing bing wahoo, and then you gotta like
shoot bang bang.
shoot a
Bang,
bunch
bang.
of mecha Germans in the Russian sewers. You know.
It's pretty much a similar experience.
Yeah, it's very similar. You're going through pipes. It's all the same thing.
What about you? I guess you haven't been playing anything then. I guess Spazzy, considering your
listen,
little rant at the beginning.
Listen, I'm an adult human being. I have important things to worry about in this world, unlike you children here. Okay, I have bills. I have I watch a lot of political news stations, and then I yell about it very loudly to people. Listen, there's things I got to do. Okay, it's not just games. It's not fun and games. All I played was Castlevania 3 on the Anniversary Collection because we all know that 2D platforming games hit their peak in 1989. And if you're playing games after that, you're just wasting your time. All right, guys.
All right, Grandpa.
Come on. Yeah.
Hey. I thought you were gonna end things off at "I have bills," and that was it.
Bills. That would have been better. Yeah, I think I go a little.
That's all you do when you're an adult.
What?
You just pay bills.
Pay the bills.
That is true.
You sit and wait for the next bill to come in, and then you pay that one.
And then you pay that one. Yeah, that's. I have no idea. That's I think the next indie game. I think I need to start working on that. It'll be just bill pay.
Well, like
because I feel like there hasn't been a good
Bills,
bill pay.
Please, the sequel to Papers, Please.
Yeah, I don't get it.
There's no good tax game. Actually, no. There's Kirby does his taxes. Just make that into reality.
There's Wall Street Kid on the NES.
Yeah.
Thunderwing's like I don't. He's like I want to play the original Castlevania NES games, but I don't want the Anniversary Collection. Well, good thing for you. There are like a million ways to play those games. You can buy the NES Classic. There you go. You can play them that way. You can buy them on the Wii U or the Wii if you have those systems in your house.
Why would you not want the Anniversary Collection? It's like $20, and it comes with like
bunch of games.
Yeah,
you can't buy them on. You can't buy them on the Wii anymore, Spassy.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You can't buy anything on the Wii.
No.
Yeah, there's something. That's kind of sad. It's kind of sad because I like, especially for those Rebirth games, man. I always tell people you should play Rebirth, and then they can't play those.
I mean, this kind of goes into talking about too many.
I did play something this week. I did, Colin.
Okay.
I played Dark Souls Remastered for the first time for like 2 hours.
So fucking important.
It was awesome. It was so great. It's like, hey man, look at this janky game. This janky game with.
I can't believe we both played remasters of games from 2009. We're on such a similar wavelength.
We're rock stars, man. I know.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Colin, what were you going to say before Spazzy interrupted with his mind blast?
Oh my god. It's well, I was going to say, like, the thing with these Anniversary Collections is like because I've been quote unquote like collecting games for like the better 10 years now, and like it sucks. It's like not fun to do anymore because like the price of every video game has like jumped up 10 times like over the last decade. And so like you know back in the day it's like, oh yeah, Mega Man 2 is like $10. Like, oh yeah, Mega Man X is like 20. But now it's like the first one is $80. And it's like, yeah, I might as well just get Legacy Collection. Like the emulation's been perfected. The collections are like dirt cheap. Might as well.
Well, I mainly the main thing that really annoys me with collecting is like I like collecting like the actual games. I don't know why. Like I like doing that, but then
Yeah.
the systems just annoy me. Where I'm just like I don't want to plug them in. I don't want to like have all these wires dangling around. That's why I think myself and so many other people are so annoyed that Nintendo is so stubborn with just only doing NES games on the Switch right now.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's why like I'm more okay with a lot of Wii U games coming over to the Switch because then I'm like, well then I can unplug my Wii U and stuff like that. It's just because it just makes things so much simpler to just have one console that I need to have plugged in. Like I'm fine with having like 3 consoles plugged in, like having like the Nintendo
Yeah.
Switch for all my Nintendo games, PS4 for all the PlayStation, then Xbox One for all the Xbox. And even like all the other consoles, like Sony is garbage at this, where it's just like they don't even have PS1 games on the PS4. I don't know why. Like they started doing a few PS2 games, but that's it. And I'm just like, why? Like PS1 games were all over the PS3. Like you could buy them digitally, you could put the disc in, stuff like that. PS4, for some reason, you can't even buy them digitally. I'm just like, there's so many problems with like just not only like game preservation, but just ease of like playing a lot of these old games on new platforms. It's so annoying.
It's funny because I'm kind of the opposite, where I have like the YouTube gamer wall of like all of these fucking video game consoles hooked up into my TV. Because I went for like the Framemeister meme and all that, but like
Yeah,
the
of
game
course.
the games themselves, the games themselves to me, unless I really like it, like of course I'm gonna own all 20 copies of Doom that I own because it's like my favorite game ever. But like I can part ways with like Mega Man Soccer, you know, like. I would rather have like an I'd rather have like an EverDrive than like all 3 Mortal Kombats on the Super Nintendo, because
You see,
those
I can-
inherently have less value to me.
I don't know. I can totally like I can live with a little bit, you know, like a little bit of the emulation funk with some systems. Where I'm just like I can live with that as long as you know it's good enough and I can play these on my new systems, stuff like that. And also, I don't like fire hazards, so I only want to have like a couple of systems plugged in at once.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta switch
so that's
off all
usually
those,
how it is.
all those power strips when you're done, or else.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not fun. It's not fun having a bunch of old CRT televisions
Yeah.
just for gaming. Yeah,
I've got
it's
one
kind of a mess.
somewhere around that I bought so I could play Melee without any input lag, but I have no idea what I've done with it now. I've had no actual space to put it anywhere since I bought it.
I have a ton of just games for I guess old retro systems, but it was never my intention to collect games. It's just that's how I had to have them to play them.
Yeah.
So I've never had that collector's mentality. And yeah, I agree. Like I'd rather just have things available on modern platforms. Because right now in my living room I have a dock for my Switch, and then I have my Xbox One and my PS4, and then I have another game room where I have a couple retro systems and kind of all of the last gen systems, which I include the Wii U in. So I have the Wii U, PS3, and Xbox 360. And when the new systems come out, I'm going to cycle those out because I don't have room for all that. I usually keep it's funny. I keep like maybe one of my older systems out just in case I feel like playing it. I think I have like the Super Nintendo hooked up right now, but it's too much stuff. It's way too much stuff.
Look at all you guys with your big houses and stuff. My Super Nintendo's locked away in its box because I have the SNES Mini.
I have a 10-bedroom apartment. What are you talking about?
I mean, for me, it's not even like just like oh man, there's just so much plastic on my wall. It's just like the inherent price of all of it. That's really what it comes down to. Because like, I don't. Like even like the really unknown like bad NES games are hitting like $20-$30 now, and it's like why? Like I don't.
That's weird. Just because like I feel like NES collecting is kind of on the down, is kind of like going down, where it's just like not as many people really care about NES stuff anymore. Like just look at how people are responding to the NES games on Nintendo Switch Online. Every single time like they get announced, people are like, "Who cares?"
The prime market for kind of retro collecting has aged out of that. Like the people that have nostalgia now,
it's going up to GameCube and N64 era.
Yeah,
you know what it is.
A lot of the people who grew up with those games are starting to become nostalgic for them a lot more. So you're starting to see way more. Like just look at the price of GameCube games. Like you could pay for a mortgage of a house with Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door. You could.
You could.
It's $50, but still.
It's way too expensive. Like trying to get Chibi Robo or Star Fox Assault is a massive pain in the ass. Thankfully, I have Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, which is by far the most expensive GameCube game out there.
The N64 is actually the thing that got me into like looking into EverDrives, because I was at the last too many games I went to like 2 years ago. I was texting my SO and I was like, "Hey, what do you want from Too Many Games? You know, there's quite the selection here." And she was like, "Oh, I want Mario Kart 64." And I'm like, "Oh, it's $50. It costs as much as Mario Kart 8 does." Like,
that's
there's a lot. I mean, like, I think a lot of that. Yeah, I mean, like at a convention, I feel like because they got you there, a lot of things are a little more overpriced. Even though you can find some good deals there, but they had like Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut in the box, completely like sealed this year. It was $100,000.
Yo, somebody said Wii U games.
I think they just had it there. I think they were just like, we're just gonna have it here. We're just gonna price it ludicrously high, just to become a talking point for people. I think that was why they did that.
Yeah. Now is the time to buy Wii U games. Somebody said something about Wii U games. Like,
I specifically, I own pretty much half of the North American library right now, like unintentionally. I'm not going for like a full set or anything. I just own I pretty much own all the good games. And now all I have to do is get like Hello Kitty Cruisers and garbage like that.
How many copies of Funky Barn do you have yet, though?
Oh, I do not have Funky Barn. Oh, that was the one launch title I missed out on.
You gotta get that.
I do own 5 copies of Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Guard, just because those in North America we have these things called Five Below, where it's pretty much just Yes, Five Below is amazing.
It's 5 times the dollar store because it's for $5. So
it's $5 and below for every item, and it's pretty much like in an excess warehouse where it's just like they just buy the stock off of like Walmart of like stuff they can't sell, and they'll just like sell it all for like $5 or less, and like they have like very select video games, and they only have like. They're just brimming with Star Fox Zeros right now. It's amazing.
Stock up.
So I own a bunch of copies of that now.
Amiibo Festival, just stock up on both.
Yeah.
They have a lot of amiibos now too. They have like Lucas and Ryu and a lot of the Animal Crossing ones.
Wow. I got a copy of Battleborn on every platform from Five Below because I'm like, man.
Oh yeah, I want to make a throne out of Battleborns. It'll be so much fun.
I had a very similar thing happen when fucking like Guitar Hero and DJ Hero and Band Hero, and basically every time Activision made something with plastic included in the box, Tony Hawk's Ride, like I just one day like just a billion of those things like showed up at like a local liquidator shop, and I went, cool, because it's Guitar Hero 3 with the guitar for $5, brand new. It's like, I might as well.
Yeah. It was weird because like at this convention I texted one of my friends just because like I didn't have any like I don't know, I was looking for like something to like specifically try and find, and I didn't have anything that I was like, damn, I really want this specifically. I just kind of bought random stuff that I saw, and I was just like, I want that and stuff like that. But I texted my friend. He's kind of a collector, not really. He's just kind of into more so like those like niche kind of cool collectible kind of things. And he's sort of into gaming and stuff like that. So I just texted him. I was just like, hey, man, like, I'm at this convention. Like, they pretty much have, like, any game you could ever want here. Like, do you need anything? Do you want me to look for anything? He texted me back. He wanted Band Hero on the PS2. I'm just like, I'm at this place with literally any game you could possibly want. You want stupid-ass Band Hero on the PS2. I found it, but the vendor was just like, I'll give it to you for free. Like, he was just like, I need to get rid of these things.
You posted that image on Twitter, and I saw that. And
the heart wants what the heart wants, man.
He got some good stuff. He wanted a lot of Grand Theft Autos and Call of Duty on PSP and a bunch of stuff like that. But he made out like a bandit for the stuff he wanted. So some fun stuff.
So Band Hero is another. I got that. You know what's? I went to Sears. Remember Sears? That's a store that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, you remember Kmart?
There's one near me. There's a Sears outlet near me.
There was one near me, and I went in, and they had like all of their games were on clearance because they've just been sitting there for like a decade and no one wanted them. And so I remember they had the big Band Hero PS2 box, the one that costs like usually $120, and I was like, how much is it? And they were like, oh, it's like $6. And so I'm like pack up the SUV, boys. We're having a party later. 'Cause it's
I don't know why. I imagine like the store associate that you asked was just this super depressing looking dude, just like I don't know, with like an ice cream cone or something. You're just like, how much is it? Like $6.
It's like $6. We also
Yeah.
got Guilty Party on the Wii. Anyone remember?
Oh
Guilty
yeah, I have
Party?
that.
No.
That's like a Disney video game version of Clue.
Yeah, it's
That was when
almost
Disney was
okay.
trying to do so many like video games. It was
Yeah.
nuts.
Mm.
All right, watch out, everybody. We're gonna do our very first nose blow of the day here.
Here we go.
Oh God. Okay.
All right, everyone, take a shot.
Dude, I've never gotten sick during the summer. This is terrible.
Slam dunk those sinuses.
Hopefully today is the last day. Hopefully.
Hopefully. So,
Someone
like,
asked,
I've never...
"What's a Sears?" It's like a big department store chain.
I don't even
Okay.
like. It's funny because like I've gone to a few
Store.
Sears, but I'm still like I don't know what their specialty is. Like I
Well,
assume it's just
they-
like
Just stuff.
just a
An
department store.
everything
Yeah.
store.
Yeah, I was about to say they come from that time where people would go to department stores to buy everything.
Yeah.
You know, because
Remember
there wasn't
Kmart?
a Walmart. Kmart was
Kmart.
owned by Sears, same company.
Oh yeah, Kmart. I remember they had big Kmarts. They named their stores like deluxo versions where they were just like, yeah, this is a big Kmart, and I always thought that was fun. They had Walmarts like that. They called it like super Walmarts or something like that.
Yes, not as
Oh,
fun
yeah.
as
Big
Big
Walmarts.
That was from an interesting era of department stores.
Yeah.
So, what is Too Many Games as a convention? Because I've never been. They don't host them over here in the UK. So,
Yeah, well, like as somebody who's only gone there once, Too Many Games is it's just like a convention for like all like people like who like video games in general. There's pretty much if you even like enjoy like video games slightly, you'll find something that you'll enjoy there. The main selling point or like the main thing in that convention center is they have this huge like area with all these vendors, and you can just walk across the show floor, and there's all these booths with all these old games. You could buy new games. You could buy like art pieces for games. There was like this really cool seller that had these shadow boxes of like these like this pixel art where it's just like they had something like the Sonic 2 title screen, and the Sonic 2 logo was like in front of the background, so it was this really cool depth effect where you had like this it cast a shadow on the rest of it, and like you have posters, figurines, plushies, all that stuff. There's so much of it, you're not going to see everything. And then they have this arcade setup where you can go to all these like dozens of different arcade games, and they have pinball machines and stuff like that. And then they have like all these consoles set up. I played The Goonies on the MSX. Yeah, and then they have like this competitive area where a lot of people are playing a lot of fighting games and Smash Brothers and stuff like that. Notice how I said fighting games and Smash Brothers. That should piss off. But fighting games like Smash Brothers. How about that? And then they have like they invite a lot of YouTubers there, so they have panels and stuff like that going on, and they have concerts going on. So yeah, it's really it was a lot of fun. I never knew if I was a big convention guy. I could probably only do like 1 or 2 a year because it's very tiring and it's a lot, but it's very enjoyable. There's a lot of stuff going on.
yeah. No, I think it sounds very similar to we've got a thing called Play Expo over here, where it's
Yeah, I think
just
I've heard of it.
vendors, and you go there and there's lots of old games, people playing fighting games. Occasionally there's some new stuff. It used to be a lot bigger. Like I went there during the Wii U days and played Mario Kart 8 before it came out, A Link Between Worlds. They had one of the Assassin's Creeds there. Dark Souls 3's like first ever demo was at Play Expo. But like over the years, they progressively got less and less bigger companies and more like retro stuff. Like you can go there and buy one of those old cassette games for some ridiculously old system that I don't know the name of, and thousands of pinball machines like lined up. It's the only place I've ever completed a pinball machine game.
Yeah, I played a little bit of pinball, and I played a little bit. What arcade games did I play? I forget, but there was a good amount of arcade stuff. Like I said, like there's pretty much like if you like anything related to video games, you'll find something that you'll enjoy there. I've noticed. I don't know. Like I know we started a little earlier than we thought on the live stream, but I was talking about how like I've noticed that MagFest was like used to be this big like convention for like the YouTuber gaming scene before, and now it seems like Too Many Games has kind of started to take that away from MagFest, where MagFest is starting to be a lot more anime, music. They have like famous voice actors or famous industry people there.
Yeah.
Too Many Games is much more like the YouTuber gaming convention now.
Okay. Is there with their
Yeah.
panels and stuff? Did you do a panel? I think I heard that you did.
Yes, I did. I had an awards show.
Okay.
I debuted the latest video there, and then afterwards we did a Q&A. But I custom ordered a lot, like 10 trophies that had to do with like potential questions they would ask me. So like, I don't know, somebody asked me, does pineapple go on pizza? And then I gave them the trophy for most insulting question. So it was a fun time. I like that. I don't know. I had a lot of wiggle room to act somewhat rude to people during my panel. It was all sarcastic. I did not mean to be rude to everybody. But like, there was one guy that asked me if Minecraft was better than Fortnite, and I just threw the trophy at him. Like, I just threw it on the ground. So it was a fun time. Yeah, but I didn't go to any panels. I did not go to like anybody else's panels, just because like I don't know, I was mainly on the show floor all day. But yeah, they had a lot of panels going on this year.
Okay. I don't tend to ever go to panels. I think the only panel I've ever been to at a thing was I went to the artists and authors for the Twilight Princess manga. We decided to go to their panel because I had nothing else to do, and I got a free autograph out of it, so it all turned out all right. And they did like live drawings of Midna and Link. Well,
dude,
chatting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But that was the only one I've ever been to.
Well, during my panel, there was like a Crush 40 concert going on at the same time. So I was just like, I got a lot of people that day saying like, "Hey man, I would love to go to your panel, but it's Crush 40, man. Come on." And I was just like, "Yeah, I get it." Like, it's just like, it was still a huge turnout for the panel. I was blown away by it. I was just like, "Oh Jesus, I didn't think about how many people were in the room with me, because I didn't want to get really nervous." So I just I was just thinking about other stuff. But like the Crush, if I had to choose between Crush 40 and a YouTuber panel, I'd be like, I'll go to the Crush 40, even though I'm not like a big Crush 40 guy. It's mainly like, this is a concert for a guy that performs music for one of the biggest video game franchises of all time. I'll probably go to that one, but
Yeah,
it's whatever.
Same, to be honest. No offense. I am a big Crush 40 fan though. They do good music. They're arguably the best part about Sonic at the moment.
Do you own all their albums? Do you own all their non-Sonic stuff too? Just big Crush 40 guy.
Actually, don't know their non-Sonic stuff.
I don't know if they have.
Do they have non-Sonic stuff? Yeah, I assume they didn't.
They do.
What did you perfectly in sync? What kind of party trick was that?
See, we're on the same wavelength, Colin. You got to get onto our level now.
Damn.
So, what did you do at Too Many Games?
I walked around looking at things, and then I went to the quick stop from Clerks.
See, that's the thing to do at Too Many Games. Yeah. I walked around a lot. It was a fun time.
I don't know. I mostly go to cons now just to hang out with friends. I don't even go for the video game portion of all this stuff. Mainly because it's like, as I said before, I don't really like collect stuff anymore. It's too much money. So I'm not there to be like, oh shit, they got Folklore for PS3. Like I'm just there to like.
Did anybody during this convention say that?
I was looking for
they got Folklore on PS3.
I was looking for that game actually.
Oh, okay.
But that's why it came to mind.
So Colin was.
I bought one game at Too Many Games, and that was Outlast 2 for the Switch, and I already own that game digitally. I just wanted the physical copy of it. That's it. That's all I. And then like I ate, and then I watched my friend get drunk. And then I hung outside the VIP party because I wasn't allowed in, but the two people I was rooming with were allowed in. So I just kind of had to sit there the one person who recognized me from Source Gaming there was like, "Hey, do you want Ecto Cooler?" And I said yes without really thinking about it. And then he gave me a cup of this like random green liquid. And then he's like, "All right, time to drink it." And it wasn't until I took a sip that I went, "Wait a minute, what is this?"
And then you woke up
And then-
in an alley.
And then he said probably the worst thing he could have ever said, which is, "Don't have too much of it." And so now I'm like, "Wait,
the hell
okay,
was
I
it?
gotta leave."
Well, they made a different
like
experience.
they start off by saying it's Ecto Cooler. That's a bad sign right there.
Yeah.
you have to watch out. It's just like, wait, is Ecto Cooler even in season this year?
Yeah. Did they bring it back? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they brought it back for when they did the
reboot?
Ghostbusters reboot, but that was it. Like, I'm just like, wait, this is a
on.
little fishy right here. I'm looking-
I eventually, like, after like 15 minutes of continually asking, like, what the fuck is this? I think it's just it was just high C and vodka. I think that's all it was.
That's fair. That's
Which-
probably
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, I'm looking at my picture of my haul during the convention. I have no idea how I got this. First off, past the TSA, but also into my suitcase, which like I have no idea. But I got an original Game Boy in the box. That was super cool.
Nice.
Like it was the original like launch one with like the neon artwork on the front with like
It's a cool box,
yeah.
that one.
yeah. I never owned the original Game Boy. So I need to get the only Game Boys that I need now are the Pocket, the Pocket and the Light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I need to get those. I got that for $100, but I also got Donkey Kong 94 thrown in there as well.
Oh,
That's a
nice.
good-ass
That's a
video
Yeah,
game.
it's
good
probably
game.
my favorite Game Boy game. Yeah, that's such an amazing game.
It's so underrated too.
Yeah, I really wish they would do like another game in the style of that. Like Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the Game Boy Advance was pretty much that, but and then they
Only the first
just
one.
went crazy.
Yeah.
They just started going. It's just like, yeah, you know those
I wa-
minis. That's the only reason why people like like Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Let's just do that. And it's just like
I was so excited when that game came out because I bought Donkey Kong 94 when it came out. I was actually going on a trip with my family to Europe, I think. And I'm like, I need to buy a new game. And I bought it. I'm all like, this is just Donkey Kong. And then after a few levels, I'm like, this is a lot more than just Donkey Kong. So, and I just
Wait.
it ended up being,
Bait and switch.
Hold
yeah.
up a second. I gotta zoom and enhance. I'm looking at this picture of your haul from Too Many Games, Scott. And is that retro game challenge? Are you a man of fine taste?
yeah, I always
I-
wanted that game. That was
I think-
it was $60, but I thought it was worth it because I never see it. I'm just like I have
think
to
everyone
get it.
here's I think everyone here's played it. Yeah,
Do
right.
you watch Game Center CX? Do you?
I catch every now and then, but I know it was originally based off of that. But in North America, they just themed it to like random like
Yeah, retro
Yeah,
game
retro
master
games.
or something.
But that's still
yeah.
really cool. I
Yeah.
still really like it. I love Game Center CX. He's my favorite character in Mario Maker 1.
Yes.
Here we go. We got the other blow, guys.
Hell yeah.
There we go. Oh God. All right.
Yeah, don't mind us, man.
Congratulations.
We're all doing a little too much Ecto Cooler here. So
Yeah.
Do you have that picture of your convention? I can put it up on the stream so other people can see it.
Oh yeah. Let me
It's on my Twitter.
pull it up.
That's what I'm looking. I'm just trying to find
Scott,
it.
Scott, who do you want for the last remaining Smash DLC characters? That's
CJ from San Andreas.
sweet.
I love
Got
that.
it. There you got
But
it,
my
guys.
main the character that I've always wanted was Chibi Robo. I think that's like one of the last major like Nintendo characters that has his own franchise, who's had multiple games. Where I'm just like, all right, he could deserve. Like Chibi Robo's been in more games than Ness. He's
This is
less
true.
substantial than Ness, but I'm just like, put Chibi Robo in there. Just stop delaying the inevitable. Even though it's not inevitable, it's never gonna happen. But still, that's like one of the last ones. I think Professor Layton would be a lot of fun, but I can't really see that as like one of the final DLC newcomers. That'd be such like a lame final DLC newcomer, or it's just like I'd really want Layton, but like as like the final one, I'd be like, okay,
It should
you
be
know,
like
whatever.
number 4 or something, and then like
Yeah, that would make a lot
I
more
have no
sense.
idea what they could actually do that wouldn't be lame for the final one. To be honest with you.
Doom Guy. Give me Doom Guy. Give me
I
nothing.
really Connor Eats Pants has moved me into the Master Chief camp where like when we were talking about Microsoft characters, he was just like, I want Master Chief. Like it's just like Master Chief. Like he doesn't want Banjo Kazooie. He doesn't want to give. He didn't want
the boomers to win.
get this one. Yeah, but Master Chief was like, I was like, man, like that would be a historic moment in gaming to have the Xbox mascot in Smash Brothers. Like I was just like, all right, I kind of want it for that.
Yeah,
but that was kind of the
pretty
only
big.
reason.
Could you imagine if they got
Yeah.
Master Chief and then Crash? It's just like
Crash would be a good fit. I think his moveset would be super lame. Like
yeah,
just
it
wouldn't
would. It would be really basic.
Yeah, but he's like that would just be a big get. Like that would be like I think he's big enough to warrant being in Smash Brothers. But
agreed.
you know, it's if he's not in Smash Brothers, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it.
I kind of feel the same way about the Resident Evil characters, even though I really like them in Smash. At the end of the day, they're just like cops. Like,
Yeah,
I
I think Leon could be really cool. I'd be down for Leon very much so, but who knows? I mean, have they been? No, I was about to say like, have they gone with new third parties? Each of the characters, and I was like, no, they got the hero, and technically Atlas is a part of Sega, but yeah, like I don't know. I think Leon Kennedy would be a really cool like 4th edition or something like that. But I'm not sure. It's really weird where it's just like I can name off a lot of characters that I would want, but I have no idea who the hell is actually going to get added.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, that was our Smash segment.
Yeah,
There we go. Now we can move
cutting
on.
it off there.
Also, I agree. Hayabusa best pick. Anyway, sorry.
So
Man, I don't like that because I don't want 2 Ryus in the game, man.
we got 2
You don't have to
Roys
call them
already.
Ryu.
I know
Yeah.
you got 2 Roys, but at least one of the Roys is hidden behind like an alternate costume.
You'll have to do like in grade school, and you'll have to call them like Ryu S and Ryu H. Just,
Yeah.
Ryu and Ryu.
yeah, just pronounce them wrong.
They're both Japanese too, so it's just like I don't know, it's just this weird like Ryu like mix up. But like what was I gonna say? Am I the only one that finds it weird that they kept all of the announcer like names from Smash Wii U? We're just like the announcer saying Mario is the exact same like clip from Smash Wii U.
Oh,
And
wow,
it just
we
makes
can't
it
even
stick out.
Mm.
It makes
Dude,
it
we can't-
stick out when you hear the characters they had to record for this new game. Like, I don't know, they sound like slightly like softer and quieter. It's weird.
Recorded at different times. Yeah, it's because they're just basing a lot of it off of Smash for Wii U. I mean, that's the only reason the announcer came back, I'm guessing, because it's always changed every single game.
It's not a port, but it's kind of an expansion.
I mean, it's just reusing assets best way they can. I mean, why re-record all of them if you've got them all sitting there already?
But it's just like, you hear like, he's just like, Mario! And for Snake, he's just like, Snake. And that's it. But it's like very muffled. It's weird. I can. It's probably because like I just know the Smash Wii U announcer voice, like announcer whatever, just like voices, whatever, clips so well that it's just like when I hear the new ones, they just sound off to me in comparison. It's weird, but
So
whatever.
guys, I just learned something. Ryu's like last name is actually Hoshi from Street Fighter.
No!
Ryu.
So you can't even do Ryu H. Yeah, you're screwed.
I just do it. They could do like the Dragon Quest thing where they just call the Luminary the hero, and they can just call it the ninja.
The ninja.
And then just like switch it off. You could have like Strider and
just all of the
Yeah.
different video gaming ninjas. Shinobi, Ryu, Strider.
yeah, get some Joe.
All
Joe
three of them.
Musashi from Shinobi, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever from Tenchu.
Tenchu Man.
Finally, all the main gaming icons in Smash Brothers.
So we have some questions in the chat, or we can just cover now in this little pause. So first one is from garbage.mp4. Do we still think that Persona 5 can come to Switch? Yes or
I believe
no?
anything can happen.
I mean, it's
What are you talking about? It's coming. Persona 5 Scramble.
Yeah. I think it's possible, but the question is whether or not Atlas will do it, which is probably not.
Yeah.
Well, I've talked to people about this. So like Do you think it's like there's like this like Sony exclusivity thing with Persona that they haven't even like talked about?
I think it's just Atlas being Atlas, because Atlas
Well,
has
it's
always
weird.
been really weird.
It's really weird because like only the mainline Persona games are exclusive to PlayStation consoles, but like Persona 4 Arena, that came to Xbox 360. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, why? Like, why?
Yeah.
Why would you not do the mainline
There's-
games?
Well,
Like
the
the
Persona
360 was an American-heavy console.
The Persona
But it's
spin-offs
just
seem
weird.
to come out on whatever, because I mean, 3DS
But it just
got
that doesn't
Persona
make any
Q
sense to me.
and-
Like, why would
Yeah.
you do the spin-offs
And the
where it's just like
Shin
these
Megami
are the
games
games?
are
These
all
are
on
the games
Nintendo
that
now.
You
It's
really,
weird.
that you really need to be invested in the Persona games to even like kind of like.
Mhm.
Where it's just like, all right, you know, like I don't really know many people who are like, I only play Persona Q and no other Persona game. But it's just weird. I'm sorry for cutting anybody off there.
No.
But
No,
that
it's
was-
fine.
yeah.
I heard a rumor recently that like apparently Sega is trying to kind of nudge Atlas into doing more ports of games for other systems, and they just like refuse to do it. Which is why there was that weird thing where Catherine Full Body's coming to PS4 and Vita, but the PC got the original release of Catherine for whatever reason.
So weird.
Mm.
Yeah, so they just want to put their mainline games on PlayStation for some reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the main
That's
Persona
it.
ones anyway, and then but it's weird because Shin Megami Tensei was on PlayStation, like Shin Megami Tensei 3 was on
Yeah.
PlayStation, and then just jumped to 3DS randomly. And it's
Yeah,
now
they
on
pulled
Switch.
And now
a
it's on
Monster
Switch.
Hunter
Yeah,
with
they
that.
pulled a Monster Hunter,
Yeah.
and it's weird, and I don't understand why they don't do the same for Persona, especially because like Persona 5R feels really strange, but that's only coming from me being a Persona 4 person, where they released the original on consoles and then like a updated version, but for handheld devices. I feel like why release two versions of the same game on PS4? Like, just
Ask
slightly
Scott.
enhanced.
Ask Scott about a Donkey Kong 64 remake. Like, what about it? Are you making one? Or would you like one? Like, that's what...
Well, I thought, are you asking me if I'm making a Donkey Kong 64 remake?
That was just the
Out of all
question.
questions to ask me, I was gonna be like, what?
It just says ask.
I'd be down for it because they can make it a better game.
Yeah.
And I think a 3D Donkey Kong game could work. They just kind of, you know, whatever, like with the first one. But it's just, it's weird. But yeah, I don't know. I personally feel like Nintendo wanted Joker and Smash Brothers because Nintendo made these picks.
Yeah.
I feel like Nintendo wanted that just to kind of like, I don't know. Their relationship with Atlas is already pretty good, but I feel like this is like solidifying their relationship. They were like with Atlas, like we're gonna put your biggest character right now in Smash Brothers. I feel like that's just kind of heightening the relationship, and it doesn't really mean much right now.
I think that Nintendo planned on putting an Atlas representative in, and then asked Atlas what they wanted. And the reason I think that is if you look at the code names that were put into Smash previously.
Oh, it was like Jack Frost or something.
It was just Jack,
Yeah.
which could mean anything, which seems like a good just like placeholder for
I would have
Atlas.
preferred Jack Frost in Smash Brothers. That would have been amazing.
It would've
Yeah,
been
me
different.
too.
I would have preferred the
Um,
slime as its own character.
Yeah, but
There's a lot of-
my other point was that the hero was Yusha, which is literally brave, which is brave,
which is literally what he's called
the
in
character's
Japan,
name.
yeah. But,
So it's weird that Joker got a code name, but
well, technically he did because it wasn't Yusha even in the Japanese. It was just Brave, and it
Brave.
was people just
But all the code names
figured
are
it out
English,
pretty
so.
quickly. Yeah, all the code names because they are like code named like that. I'm assuming they're doing it so that leaks and stuff don't get out. This time
Yeah.
around, so everything's got all the DLC characters have to have a unique name. We'll have to see for sure when Banjo-Kazooie comes out, 'cause it would seem redundant to give Joker a nickname, because Arsene also has a nickname. Like, that's the other thing, because it's not like they'd have decided on Joker by that point when they added Arsene in, but he has a nickname as well.
what was his nickname?
It's the author of Sherlock Holmes. What's his name?
Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah, it's Doyle, I think. Doyle's
okay.
his code name.
Well, they've had a lot of problems with data mining in the past. I remember the fateful 2015 Ryu and Roy leak, and I'm pretty sure they just
That would've
want to
been so
avoid
exciting
garbage
to
like
see.
that.
Yeah, if that had an elite beforehand, that would have been... Well, like, 'cause the character got leaked, and then Nintendo made it worse by releasing the update a day early. and then just to the servers so that people could access it, but no one could actually use it unless they could hack it in, which people obviously did.
Speaking of data mining, I need to get on to some sort of. I need to talk to some people in the data mining and modding community, because I know that there were those 30 slots for unused characters when the game launched that people found, and then I think like 16 for World of Light. But I've never gotten confirmation if those slots were actually used by Piranha Plant and Joker, and I really would like to know if that's not that I think we're going to get 30 characters, but I want to know if we were right in thinking that that's what those placeholders were for.
Yeah, I think they probably just filled them all up the slots so that people, when they did data mine, didn't see. Because I mean, that's what happened with the Ryu Roy one. People figured out how many DLCs we were going to have by data mining and seeing how many Marios they had added into the game's code. Anyways, so there were some other questions. Scott, are you excited for Spider-Man Far From Home?
Yeah, sure. I haven't gotten too invested in the MCU, but I did watch Spider-Man Homecoming, and that was really good. I like that one. I watched it after I played Spider-Man PS4 because I was on a kick. I was just like, all right, let's go for it. It was a fun time. I really did enjoy that, so I definitely want to watch that. There's a lot of movies I actually want to watch this summer. I want to watch Toy Story 4. I want to watch that. Yeah, but Toy Story 4 is just like I want to see if they screwed it up or not.
Well, see, I was sure they were gonna screw it up, but everyone who's seen it so far has said really good things about it. So I'm like,
yeah,
oh, shit, maybe they did it. Maybe they did it.
I think most people have said like it's good. It doesn't feel like it was like completely. It was completely warranted, but it was still good from what I've heard.
Okay, I'm gonna try and see it some point this week, because I know my brother wants to see
Colin's seen it, so he can actually talk.
Free time. Yeah, what?
I think I saw a review that specifically called it more of like an epilogue rather than like a final chapter. I think that sounds like it sounds about right.
They should have just not called it Toy Story 4. They should have called it something else. That's how I felt about it, because it doesn't because
Toy Story is such a consistent franchise with the naming convention.
I know.
That's what I like about it.
They should have called it Toy Story Resurrection. No, but like it's one of those things where like 3 is such like 3 was designed. It was like made in mind to be like this perfect cap on this series. Like it ends with the first shot of the first movie. But it's weird because this movie is like it certainly is the last one. There's no I do not see like I can't see how they could make another one after this.
Who knows?
Well, yeah, you never know. But like it's basically Woody the movie. The other characters are barely in the film.
That's weird because every movie is Woody the movie. Like when I look back at it, it's just like Woody is always the main focus.
Yeah.
You just like I don't know.
It's like Woody with Buzz's relationship, Woody with everyone else's relationship, Woody getting over Andy, getting over him.
But I don't know. It was really cute though. I really liked it anyway.
Yeah, I'll probably go see it this week.
Yeah,
I saw Incredibles 2 last year, and that was pretty good. It's just not. It just wasn't very.
What movie did you see last year?
What was that?
It's just funny. It's like, what movie did you see last year? That's the last time I went to see a movie. Last year.
Yeah.
Incredibles 2.
That was pretty much. What was? I'm trying to think. Oh my god! No, last movie that I saw in theaters was Detective Pikachu.
Okay.
So that's fairly recent enough. I just don't get out and watch enough movies.
Understood.
I really want to, but I just never do. I wanted to go. Like I said, I never got invested too much into the MCU, so I still haven't seen Endgame. But I see they're bringing it back into theaters. So I'm like, all right, I have to see it because that's like the biggest movie of all time. I have to. And I saw Infinity War on Netflix, and I had no idea what the hell was going on, but it was still pretty entertaining.
But there sure was stuff happening.
It was a good time. Yeah, but it was entertaining. I enjoyed it, but I was more so like, all right, what the hell are all these people?
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. You saw a movie last year, so...
Yeah, I saw that. Well, that was the last Pixar. I haven't stayed up to date too much with like a lot of the Pixar stuff. After like, what was the last Pixar? I think the last Pixar movie that I saw in theaters was Cars 2.
Oh boy,
that kind of swore me off for life. What came out after Cars 2? Was that like Brave or something?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Cars 2. Cars 2 and The Good Dinosaur, I think, are the two I haven't seen from Pixar.
Here's the thing about The Good Dinosaur. It is certainly a movie.
I know a lot of people were like, "Well, that was a that was at least 90 minutes of film. That was about it.
I
Yeah,
saw
so,
some
like,
dinosaurs
the
in it.
last one that I saw was Cars 2. I saw Finding Dory on Netflix, and Incredibles 2 at the drive-in theater. And Incredibles 2 was pretty good. It was not that memorable. Like it just kind of felt more like just kind of like another Incredibles, and that was it. But it was still pretty entertaining. Like I like that about it.
So
Someone wanted to know if you had seen Spider-Verse.
Everybody was just like, yeah.
Yep. No, I liked Incredibles 2 when I saw it. It just reminded me a lot of the first one. It's got a lot of the same story.
Yeah, I just hear nobody talk about it anymore. Like
Yeah.
that's just the thing.
It didn't leave
Like,
I don't
everybody-
think it left like a massive impact. It came out, people enjoyed it, and then it moved on, I suppose.
Yeah, which is just like it could be definitely worse than that. You know,
Yeah.
I had a good time with it, but that was about it. And then the only other movie that I saw since then was Detective Pikachu, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like it's about as good as you could expect a movie called Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
It could have been, you know.
It
I
was
don't know what
a
everybody else was
passable movie.
expecting.
I mean, like I just wanted to see the CGI Pokemon and see how well they'd implemented
Yeah, that was awesome.
Because the story is like basic as all hell, but that doesn't
Yeah, it was
matter
a
because
kids'
it's a
movie.
kids movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about spoilers with that movie? Has it been long enough?
Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, guys, we're going to do
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu spoilers, so if you don't want to hear them,
I'll just,
All right,
uh,
Detective
check it out, I
Pikachu
guess.
spoilers at the very end. Okay, I'll only talk about it for a minute. But like, I don't know, me and my girlfriend went to it, and like when Mewtwo started talking at the end, we just looked at each other like with shock. We were just like, "What the hell is going on?" This is before we realized like the dude was like mind controlling him or like using him as like his body or something. That was just such like a moment we just looked at each other, just like, "What the hell?" It was
What
such
is going
funny
on?
moment. Yeah, but it was very entertaining. For somebody who's not super into Pokemon, I was still like, this is pretty good. You know, like it kept my interest. It didn't feel too long, didn't feel too short. It was like it was about as good as a video game movie could really get,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
It's gonna be weird to see how they do a sequel, considering I think they've announced one.
Yeah, that's really weird because like the ending just left no like room for
Yeah,
in
it
my
feels
opinion.
like a wrapped up story. So, like, I hope they do something. I hope they think of through it. Hope they think the sequel through well enough because they also want to
Well, what
do
do
a
you
Pokemon
guys-
Red and Blue movie.
What did you guys think of like the twist at the end? Because I never played the game, and I heard the game alluded to that twist.
Well, the
But
game
they didn't-
kind of. So the game's weird. I haven't played it fully myself, but I know it. The first time they released it, it really just felt like a chapter in a story, and then the second time they released it, now
They
the
just
physical
unleashed
version,
everything else.
Yeah.
They did chapter 1 and then chapter 2, 3, 4, 5 at the exact same time.
But it just feels like game one of a series. Like it does
Well,
allude,
they
it does
said
allude
it's
to it,
coming
but it
to
doesn't.
Switch.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They've said it's coming to Switch with
But they said like
another
they're
ending,
wrapping up the
though.
story on the Switch. I don't know if that means like a sequel or if they're just doing an enhanced port with a final chapter.
Yeah.
I don't know what that meant.
That's what it sounds like to me. Like maybe the first one didn't sell very well, and they were like, well, you know, instead of making this game 1 of 5. Let's just throw one final chapter together to wrap everything up. But they said the ending would be different from the film, so I'm not quite sure how it's going to play out. It's gonna be weird to see, but I'll probably pick it up on the Switch because I think it would work better on the Switch. I'm just surprised they didn't have it
Yeah.
ready for when the film came out because that seems like prime time to.
The only reason it felt like the only reason why they localized the first game was just because the movie was coming out. They were just like, "All right, guys, we gotta do it." Like there was no other reason. It just felt like they had to. But,
like the twist was because it was a kids movie. It was the most obvious twist you could possibly have.
It was
Like,
it was weird because like
It was
okay,
telegraphed really, really heavily.
We're going full spoilers here.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, like I just did not look at him as like a dad. Like I looked at him, it's just like he looked way too young to be that dude's dad. He looked like he was like the same age as him pretty much. Even though like
He had
the guy
some
that plays the
gray in his
main character
beard.
is like only like 24 or something. But it's
Yeah.
just like Ryan Reynolds feels like he's like 28.
Yeah, well,
So
Ryan
it's just
Reynolds
it
is
didn't
is
feel right to me.
No.
He's in his mid 40s, but yeah, he has a very youthful energy.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah.
very young. So I was just like, really? He's the dad? It just felt too young. But you know,
I
it
thought-
was whatever. I thought that was a fun little twist. I kind of saw it coming, but I didn't really. I was just like, oh, that's fun. I was about to find it really weird if like I don't know if like he was never gonna get his body back and he was just gonna be the Pikachu for the rest of his life, and
See,
like
that's what I was expecting.
Justice Smith or whatever his name was gonna have to just refer to this Pikachu as his dad. I thought that was gonna be like a really weird. I thought it was just like, all right, if that happens, this is gonna be really weird. But no, he gets his body back, so that was fine.
Right,
Yeah, I mean, I
Mewtwo
like how
saves
they
the day.
Also,
kept
every
not
single
showing
time
the
when they
dad's
show like
face.
the dad's back, every single time
Yeah.
when they show the dad's back, it's obviously not Ryan
Yeah,
Reynolds.
they're
Yeah.
so
Like, they were just
desperately
like,
trying to
yeah.
keep it a secret, but so just use a body stunt double instead.
I don't even think it was a stunt double. They just
No.
like they just took some dude on the set and they were just like, "Hey, you want to be in this movie?" And that was it. They just did not look like Ryan Reynolds. I'm pretty sure they were like, "We're gonna keep this a secret by not even keeping it a secret. We're just gonna use a completely different person." That's what it felt like to me. But other than that,
Yeah.
it was pretty good. I didn't have many problems with it. It just wasn't like fine entertainment. Like it wasn't something where I was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put this on in the background during one of my caviar parties. It was just like it's just not gonna happen.
What do you
All
put
right.
on in the background during your caviar party, Scott?
Do you have a Roku TV? Because like I have one of those built into my smart TV, and I just look through the app sometimes because anybody can make a Roku app, so it's really funny. So it's just like I look at some of them. I put on like the George Washington free screensaver. Because like that they have like these free apps with just pictures of presidents, and it's just like you can just look through like these pictures of George Washington, but they're cropped really badly. So like whenever I have my fine dining parties, it's just these really bad pictures of George Washington on in the background. That's what I put on during my fine caviar parties.
Beautiful.
It's really
Get everyone
great.
in
If
the
you have a
patriotic
Roku, I'd
spirit.
recommend looking through the apps look at the just added section. You'll have a blast.
It's like
so much
looking up
fun.
the eShop on the eShop to see what's recent crap has been released.
Oh yeah, there's too much stuff coming out on the
There's
Switch,
so
man.
much stuff.
Like
It's
it's just
insane.
I just can't keep up with it. I miss the days. I know this sounds weird, but I miss the days when there was only like 7 games a month. When it's just like, all right, you know, like everybody was playing Shantae Half Genie Hero because that was one of the main games that came out one month
Mm.
or around launch. But it's just like now, like there's like
There's
10
so
games that
many
release
games.
a day. And it's just
Yeah,
like most of
there's
them
so
are
much content.
garbage. And it's just like I remember back when the Switch first came out, Nintendo went quality over quantity with the games they allowed on the service,
Mhm.
and they just said it's just like, yeah, we want to make sure there's like enough quality on there. And now Nintendo's like, there's over 1,000 games on the Switch, and like most of them are these like calculation castle games or something.
See, it's,
It's
not
just,
a
like,
Wii
it's
U.
so
It's not a
bad.
Wii U. We've got games this
Yeah.
time. They
Well, the
just
Wii U
That's
had a
the
problem
mark
with
of the
somewhere
stars.
too. Like they near the
Yeah.
end of the Wii U's life, Nintendo was just like,
Eh,
fine. Like they were just like, whatever. Like they just allowed pretty much anything on that.
Never
on
forget
that eShop.
Never forget Meme Run.
Oh man, yeah, that's. Oh,
It's true.
I'm so sad. When is that gonna get a deluxe port on the Switch? Here we go. Fourth blow. Here we go. There we go. All right. It's disgusting. Oh, beautiful.
What do you?
Thank you.
You're welcome. So,
Oh goodness.
final one more question, and then we'll move on to talking about Mario Maker. Did we? What are our opinions of, and did we ever use like Nintendo's Flipnote Studio, Flipnote Hatana apps? On the
Yeah, I
3DS?
did. I loved Flipnote.
Mhm.
I mainly used Flipnote on the DSi. On the 3DS, I didn't use it because they took out so many features.
Mhm.
But Flipnote was great. Flipnote was a ton of fun.
Yeah, I like the original Flipnote. I tried using it a bit because I was super into doing animation at the time, but it's like it's really difficult. I much prefer doing like take clay animation like the Aardman stuff. I'm much better at
Yeah.
doing that. But I never tried the 3DS one. I just didn't have.
Yeah,
the
I
time.
played around with it a little bit, but it was just like I don't know. By the time like Flipnote came out at a time when like I was super into like the level makers and stuff like that, like WarioWare DIY.
Mhm.
I was super into that and Flipnote. But by the time Flipnote Studio 3D came out, was like around the time when I realized I kind of grew out of like level creators. I don't know why, but I'm not as into them as I used to be. Just because I don't know. As I get older, I'm kind of like, well, I could put work towards making my own game, or I could just make a game within this game or something like that.
Mhm.
That's at least the theory I have as to why I'm not as into level makers as I used to be. But like something like Flipnote Studio 3D, I played around with it for like a few minutes, and I was like, all right, this is Flipnote Studio, but on the 3DS. I don't know why this took so long to get out here, but it was pretty cool. But I mainly played the DSi version.
Okay. Well, that's talking about creating your own stuff. That's a perfect segue into Super Mario Maker 2, which I think everyone has been playing apart from Spazzy. So
yeah, because he's been paying bills.
Yeah, he's been doing the adult stuff. So we're going to talk about
I grew out of level creators because I have bills to pay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the antithesis.
Bills.
What are you guys' impression of Mario Maker 2? First off, like out of like what you played, I've only played a few hours so far.
Yeah, I've only played some of the story mode levels, and then what else did I play? I messed around a little bit with the creator, but I haven't made a full level yet. I'm gonna try and do that before tomorrow's stream.
I think that's probably like the biggest downgrade from Mario Maker 1 is the creator. The creator is just much, no matter how you slice it, it's not as good as the first game. There's so many problems with like Nintendo is like putting a lot of like Wii U stuff that was born on the Wii U on the Switch, and you can tell like a lot of things were just so baked into the Wii U experience that it comes off as a bit awkward on the Switch. Like stuff like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, like it works on the Switch, but it feels much more like fully made for the Wii U than like I think people realized. And then like when you go to Mario Maker, it works. Like creating levels works, but it's not nearly as like fun or intuitive as it was on the Wii U.
Yeah, I think like you said, it was designed for the Wii U with the Wii U gamepad in mind.
Yeah. So even when you're doing it in handheld mode, it still doesn't feel like right. Like it just feels like it feels much more awkward. But I don't know how it feels for people who haven't played Mario Maker.
Yeah, I don't know how that feels either, because I've obviously I have played the original Mario Maker.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting opinion to get from someone.
But here's the thing: I feel like since the creator isn't nearly as like fun to you, because like with Mario Maker 1, it was just fun to just like screw around and just throw a bunch of stuff on a level, because it's just like the interface and like the music and all this stuff, and just the fact that like you can use it, you can put stuff on the gamepad with the stylus and then just immediately play it on the TV, stuff like that. It just made level creation so intuitive and so fun that anybody can make a level, and that's why you got a lot of garbage with Mario Maker 1 when you were playing levels. But now I haven't been noticing as much garbage.
It's seeding out like, the people who
yeah, I feel like the people who really want to make levels are the ones making levels, because everybody who would just dick around in the level maker are like, this isn't as fun to dick around in. So now, like, only the people who really want to make good levels are making levels now, because whenever I played, like, the Endless Challenge or played anything in Course World, it's all good. Like, I haven't run across, like, a super bad one so far.
Yeah, no,
I know they exist, but I haven't run across a ton of them, so...
They'll always exist, but I've seen some pretty good ones so far. Like, do you see the sandbird that someone made from Mario Sunshine?
Ooh,
damn! Mario Maker.
I haven't seen that. That's awesome.
It's cool. You ride across this like flying block bird, and as it comes along, you have to climb up the wings and then jump into like little quick puzzle platforming sections to grab red coins, and you have to get all the red coins to get the key to open the door at the end that takes you to the exit. It's really
I've noticed a ton of people do some crazy fun stuff with the switches, with the on-off switches. I've noticed those are really fun. Sorry, those are really fun now. I think like my biggest problem with Mario Maker 2 is the fact that they didn't bring back the Amiibo costumes.
Oh yeah,
that's
same.
That is my biggest problem, and it's totally fine. It's whatever. But I'm just like, oh god, like, that takes out so much of what made the Mario 1 style like stand out. Because just like, yeah, that's really cool. I noticed that. Yeah, and it's the only one that gives you the big mushroom, not the mega mushroom, but the big mushroom. But you get those. But still, like outside of those things, there's not much reason to do the Mario 1 art style compared to the other ones. And the Amiibo costumes kind of inspired you to make like levels based on other games, or it inspired you to do like stuff because like you'd just be looking at all the Amiibo costumes and you'd be like, oh, I want to do a level based on Wind Waker, so use Toon Link and stuff like that. and now you don't have that anymore. And I'm kind of like, well, that's kind of garbage. Because
Yeah.
like I kind of get if it's like a third party issue because they had like Sonic and Mega Man and Pac Man and stuff like that in there. But it's just like if it was a third party issue, then just take those out. Like just use the first party ones that Nintendo solely owns, and I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's still a little disappointing, but you know, at least you can do all these fun different costumes.
Yeah, and it wasn't like every amiibo worked in Mario Maker 1. Like they updated it to add some extra ones in post launch, like Daisy, but they didn't add. They never added in like Roy or Cloud or Bayonetta or any of them into the game, or Ryu.
Yeah,
But
I feel like they partially might have felt obligated to do that. That might be why, where they're just like, we want to put all the other amiibo in here, and that would have been a lot.
justify or some of these amiibo.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, there hasn't been a ton of amiibo that released since Mario Maker. Mario Maker 1 released during the amiibo craze, and now we're starting to finally get out of it.
Yeah.
But so there hasn't been a ton more, but you know, still.
And
Maybe it's just like a licensing thing. They don't want to pay for all these
yeah,
like
potentially.
licenses of characters.
Yeah, but even then, I would have been fine with them
yeah.
just using the first party costumes, but you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
I think what bothers me as well is, I mean, other than wanting to use my amiibo, is that those were also the awards for doing like the 100 Mario challenge or whatever it was called.
Yeah, is there any
Mario
rewards for getting far into Endless Challenge?
See, I don't think there is. I don't have.
It's just a high score based thing.
Yeah, I haven't unlocked any of the Mii costumes yet for your actual Mii that you can use for your in the game.
Oh, you unlock a ton of those. Like
Yeah,
they just have little. Well, you just have little notifications that pop up. Like I think if you play one course, you get an amiibo. You get a Mii costume.
Oh, really?
So you probably just didn't notice.
Yeah, maybe
that
I just
the
didn't
notification
notice.
came up. Yeah.
Then,
So you definitely do have some.
Yeah, well, then if they're just unlocked, randomly throughout like that, then because they're the only unlockables in the game, you start with everything. They didn't do the Mario Maker 1 thing where you start with only limited stuff, and they don't have amiibo costumes, so it's literally just the Mii shit that you unlock as it goes on. And that's not as exciting, because I really enjoyed unlocking all the amiibo costumes that way. It gave me an incentive to keep playing through, other than just obviously trying out people's levels.
Yeah, and like I also have not really looked too much into like other people's like maker profiles, so it obviously doesn't matter that much. Like it's literally just like, oh yeah, what costumes do you have? It's just like I haven't really looked into that yet. But I also haven't played that much so far, just because I've been sick and I also have to finish up video work for the weekend. But after that, then I'll definitely go. Then I'll go deep into story mode.
Story mode's pretty good. I'm liking some of the story mode challenges. They go through. They've got some clever ideas from Nintendo. I quite like the puzzle ones. I think that's what I'm probably going to end up doing a lot of my stages around, trying to solve puzzles to get to the end. Because I feel like the ones that make you think, the better ones, that they actively have to work around to earn your way to the end, or like adding challenges like get all 5 big coins and get to the end of the stage, stuff like that, as opposed to just straight platforming.
I personally haven't really thought of any like ideas I would have for like level creation so far. I at least want to make like 1 or 2, because like I said, like the level creator isn't as fun to use with this game. So like I'm kind of like, all right, I don't want to use it too much, but I want to at least create a few. I remember in Mario Maker 1, I did create a good few. I created one that was like a time travel one where you were in the Mario Maker 1, Mario Brothers 1 art style, and like you would be above ground, and above ground it would be like in the present day, and then you'd go down in the pipe and it would give you the exact same layout underground, but it would be like the future version. So like you'd see, or no, the future version would be above ground, and you'd have like dry bones and like the skeleton versions of enemies. And then when you go down in the pipe, you'd go into the past, and you'd get like the Mario Brothers costume from the arcade game, and it'd show you like instead of dry bones, it would just be straight up Koopa Troopas, or like big enemies in the future would be small in the past and stuff
That's
like
a cute
that.
idea. That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
it did not get any traction. But it's whatever. That was my proudest moment. I also like recreated like Super Bell Hill in like the new Super Mario Brothers art style, but now I can just recreate Super Bell Hill in the Mario 3D World art style.
I remember
Mario 3D World is super fun in 2D. I really like that art style.
Yeah.
They did way more to differentiate it from New Super Mario Brothers U than I thought they would. Where like there's a lot of stuff that is way different in 3D World that I'm just like, okay, I really like this.
See, I've I don't know if it's just me and I haven't played a 2D Mario in ages, but I found the physics on this to be just slightly off when playing
Like
the
for
2D
3D
games.
World or just like
just in general, but I noticed it first properly in 3D World.
I
It's-
haven't noticed a ton of differences.
It's
It felt
them
pretty
new
okay.
Super Mario Brothers physics. That's what it is.
Mm.
And it
Yeah,
still
3D
messes
World.
with me.
3D World is weird because like it's not a 1-to-1, like it's not like playing a 3D World level in 2D because like that's 3D World.
Yeah.
Like 3D World is pretty much like it makes sense to convert that to like a 2D style just because like it's so it's made as like a 2D Mario game in 3D.
Yeah.
But they definitely changed a bunch of stuff up with that. It's really weird. Do you notice like you can't stack enemies in the 3D World?
Yeah, the
art
3D
style?
World one
And
art style feels
enemies-
really limited in certain
Enemies
areas.
are stacked in 3D World. Like there are stacked enemies in 3D World, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
So it's really weird.
I just find it strange that 3D World is separated completely as is.
Yeah, are you
'cause I don't
fine
feel
with
like there
that,
is.
or like are
I
you
don't-
kind of annoyed by that?
I'm personally a bit annoyed by that because I just don't see
Yeah.
why for 3D World. I would understand if it was something like
There's-
Super
yeah,
Mario
there's
Bros.
enough that's-
2. Like,
Yeah, there's
I'm
enough
okay
that
with it because of
separates
that.
There's enough that separates it, but it's not like as much as I thought would
Yeah.
separate it. It still feels pretty in line with the other styles, so it does feel a bit weird. It's not that I haven't really ran into anything where I'm like, oh man, if these styles were all interchangeable, this would be way better. I haven't really ran into that yet, so it's not a big deal. It's just kind of weird that there's only one style that is like specifically like in its own camp.
Yeah.
But of course, there's gonna be another one.
Or-
There
yeah.
has to be.
yeah, they've got to
Exactly.
be doing one as an update.
That's why I don't have a problem with it, because conceptually I like the idea of different styles, because there's some things like Super Mario Brothers 2 USA which won't work in
Yeah.
Mario Maker. So this opens the door to making different styles of Mario games.
Well, I do
It
like
just
that.
feels a little weird because there's only one style that's
Yeah.
like
this is
separated. So
gonna be
it just feels a bit weird. It feels like it was like a slightly unorganized part of development where they were just like, we'll just make this its own thing. But
Yeah.
it's just like there's not like so much that really separates it. There's not as much as it feels like at first.
Yeah, well, it feels almost like they wanted to add a new style and felt like 3D World was the best fit because there wasn't any other new 2D styles, but then found that stuff just didn't mesh very well or something. Like maybe the car, they wanted to drive the car really badly, but that wouldn't work in the other styles.
Are the physics
Yeah.
So they
exactly
gave
the same?
up. Yeah, I think so.
Between that and the
They all
others?
seem to be the
Okay.
new Super Mario Brothers physics, which is also why playing the original Super Mario Brothers stuff feels a bit off. Like I'm not getting my jumps correctly because I'm not used to it being the new Super Mario Brothers physics, which is a pain. But I hope that I'll be all for the 3D World thing if they keep, like you said, adding more styles to it. Because one thing I really did appreciate was taking a game that was 3D and making it 2D. And seeing how that would work. And I would love them to keep that up with, like, I don't know, a Mario 64 style.
Yeah,
it's
back in Mario
2D.
Maker 1, that's specifically what I wanted. I thought it'd be super cool if they added like a 3D style in 2D where they had like Mario 64 and it was all like blocky and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
thought that would be like super fun. I think it would make most sense for them to add Mario Brothers 2. That
Yeah,
feels
yeah.
like that feels like the most obvious post-launch addition where it doesn't take that much effort. It's just sprite based. It's not like 3D World where it's just like it's all 3D models, stuff like that. I just feel like that would make the most sense. And like a lot of people are honing in for like Mario Land. I just feel like Mario Land wouldn't be fun and distinct enough to be its own style.
Mario Land 2, but it's still.
But Mario Land 2 just feels like Mario World on the Game Boy. And that's
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't have any. I mean, it has the bunny ears, but it's
Yeah.
not its own style. It's more of like another
That's kind of why I feel like they might have added the Super Ball to Mario 1 because they were probably like, maybe we could add Mario Land, and then starting to work on it, and they were like, wow, this is just a worse version of Mario Brothers 1. That's it. And it's just like, it's black and white, and that's about it. And then Mario Land 2 is just like, yeah, Mario Land 2 is awesome, but it's just kind of like a Game Boy variant of like Mario World in terms of like its art style.
All right.
It does have like some weird like
enemies and
world
and
themes
locations.
and enemies
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But like, I don't think there's enough that differentiates it from like any of the others to really make it like an exciting addition that a lot of people would use. It'd be exciting for like people like us. We're like, oh, that's awesome, but I just don't really see myself using the Mario Land 2 or Mario Land art style compared to something like Mario World or Mario 3 or Mario 1 or whatever.
Counterpoint here. Super Mario Land 2 has Wario in it. And then you could add Wario
that could
to every
replace
stage.
Bowser.
Yeah.
It could replace Bowser Jr.
They could easily
can
like
replace Bowser Jr.
Oh, well, that would be
Grandfather.
weird because Bowser isn't in those games.
Yeah.
So would that be like in the extra game styles?
I don't know. You could say you replace Bowser with Wario, and then place Bowser Jr. with Tatanga, and then the
With
clown
Wario
car
Jr..
and then the clown car with Tatanga's spaceship, and there you go.
They could
I'd
probably
be
get away
fine
with
if
just
Mario Land was as like garbage physics as it is in the original game. So, like, I'd be super down if it was just like super like stiff and like you drop like a rock.
It's the only style that like completely changes the physics up.
It's the only style that
makes it
like
worse.
fundamentally plays like garbage. But it's whatever. It's Mario Land. Mario Land's like a fun like nostalgic novelty. But
Sorry, Colin, you were trying to say something.
yeah. They could easily get away with just grandfathering like most of Mario Land 1 and 2's assets into like Super Mario Brothers and World if they really wanted to, or even Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah.
oh, that would have been a cool thing that shifted with the night theme. That would have been a cool
Yeah.
thing where just like if one of the styles, if you do a night theme, then it goes black and white like Mario Land.
That would have
That'd
been
be
cool.
really cool.
That would have been a good one for the
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers like overworld.
I mean, they do
Yeah.
have like a almost a Game Boy filter. When you pick up the Super Ball, you turn.
Yeah, you turn black
yeah.
and white, and it
White,
plays the
yeah.
Super Mario Land theme.
Yeah, I like it has like a different like NES twang to it. The Mario Land theme. I really like that. It's just like it sounds like it, but there's some specific like little differences in the sound that I'm like, damn, I like this. I don't know why, but it's really fun.
I would like more just power-ups from the Mario series. There's been so many. So, actually bringing stuff over from Mario Land, like maybe we should bring over all the stuff from New Super Mario and from Mario Brothers 3 and things like that.
Yeah,
We still don't
because
have a frog
they're very
suit.
limiting. They limit like the amount of power-ups each style has just to
Yeah.
kind of keep it in line with Mario 1. I'm kind of like, come on.
Yeah, it's a
You
bit
know,
lame. I mean, that's
Yeah.
another reason why I'm annoyed a bit by 3D World being so separate, because in the first Mario Maker, I really liked how they'd taken stuff that was introduced in New Super Mario Brothers, like Bowser Jr., and then making Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario World, and 3 variants of them. But of course, 3D World being separate, they don't do that, so you don't get enemies like the bully in
Yeah,
with
but it's
various
weird because they
styles.
still limit 3D World because like
Yeah.
it doesn't have because 3D World has like the most power-ups of any Mario game, but you only get like the bell and the fire flower, and that's
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
I'm just like, why? Like if it's separate from everything else and add like the Tanuki suit or add like the boomerang flower or add the double cherry or
Yeah.
stuff like that.
The boomerang one would have been a good one to have. I can understand why they wouldn't want to add the double cherry in, as it creates another asset that has to be used. And if someone made a stage,
but that would have
was-
been insane for Mario Maker. That would have been, oh my god. Also, like, it's weird because like they have the clear pipes, but you can't split them off like you do in 3D World.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you
a
can't
weird
make it so
limitation.
then you choose like, yeah, that's like weird. Where I'm just like, what's the point of doing clear pipes then? Where it's just like, yeah, like they have like some specific things you can do with them, but like it just felt like having like specific items in clear pipes and you have to like choose which direction to go in with clear pipes is kind of like one of the major points of having clear pipes.
Yeah.
So it's really weird. Like that's why I say the more I think about it, like the more it feels like it was slightly like an unorganized part of development where they were just like, yeah, just make 3D World like separate, but they still have those limitations where they only have specific power-ups there.
Well, I
Or,
feel
like,
like
it's just
almost it's because a long time ago, Mario Maker, a port of Mario Maker, was one of the like very early rumored Switch games.
Yeah.
And I almost wonder if it started off as a port, but we're going to add new features in like slopes and other things that people have been requesting. And then the longer they left it, the more they were like, okay, it might be maybe we may as well just make this a brand new game and add more stuff to it. But they had to justify a new like design then for that, and so they added the 3D World one in.
Yeah, Nintendo's really weird with how they develop things, because they were like, remember with Mario Galaxy 2, they were just like, yeah, we started developing this as like an expansion to Mario Galaxy. I'm like, how the hell would that have worked on the Wii?
Yeah.
Like, you guys don't do DLC on the Wii, and then like you're gonna do this expansion of Mario Galaxy. It's just like, why are we doing an expansion now? Why weren't you developing a full blown sequel? I mean, first, like, why were you? It didn't make any sense to me.
Well, they tried this with Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 64 before deciding to make it Majora's Mask.
They just dick around with whatever. They were just like, they just started like, I'm just gonna make 2 new Mario levels, and they were like, let's make that a new game. I'm just like, why? And then like Breath of the Wild 2, they were just like, yeah, we were planning. This was started as like DLC. I'm just like, how did like it's just like, how did this full-blown huge-ass sequel start as like DLC? It's just like, it's weird. Nintendo's really weird with how they start development of their sequels. It's really weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Splatoon 2 started like that, to be honest. Like,
well, Splatoon 2 was pretty much just like Splatoon 2 at launch felt like pretty much just like Splatoon 1, but like slightly tweaked.
Yeah,
and now it became its own thing. But yeah, they're really weird with those. But I wouldn't be surprised if Mario Maker 1. I mean, like Mario Maker 2 is very obviously built off of Mario Maker 1.
Oh yeah,
they just added a bunch of stuff. Yeah, but from what I've noticed, like I have been having more fun with Mario Maker 2, just because like it does feel like they've specifically. It just feels like the people making levels are much more. They're much more just smart with making levels, because like more people have had practice with Mario Maker 1, and also the level creator isn't as fun as it used to be, which could be a downside, but that means like all the people who are actually good at making levels are the one making levels. So I've been having a lot more fun with it than Mario Maker 1. Mario Maker 1 I had fun with, but I didn't play it as much as like anybody else. I played it for like 20 hours in total probably, and I kind of just put it down, which, you know, 20 hours is still a lot, but for Mario Maker, for like a game with like infinite amounts of Mario levels, I didn't play it as much as I probably thought I would.
Yeah, I don't think I played it as much, but
I kind of like how Mario Maker 2 is like it's more geared for people who just want to play custom levels.
Yeah,
and just want to play like a Mario platformer. Yeah. Oh, it's a little rough.
I haven't done it yet.
I'm sorry, I realized that, but go on.
Yeah. No, but no, because I pretty much only played Mario Maker for just downloading custom levels and stuff, and like I so far I've been really enjoying the story mode, because it's like, yeah, it's like, I mean, it's like Mario platforming tried and true, but then they have like all these like puzzles and shit that are like really cool, and they've never really tried doing this in the mainline Mario games anyway. So
I just like that as like a good tagline for Mario Maker 2. It has puzzles and shit.
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's really good at doing it.
Well, they forgot to add a Kaizo tag, so they clearly don't understand the audience well enough.
But I've tried out the online multiplayer, and it works. It works good enough from what I've seen, but like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where like, yes, you do need to be able to play with friends to have like a great time.
I think that's what I'm waiting for. The friend update.
It's just weird that they didn't even think about adding that at first, because like, I don't know, it felt like they like their excuse for not doing online multiplayer in like the new Super Mario Brothers games. It felt like they were saying like it was because like, oh, local multiplayer is what it's all about, being with your friends. And then when they finally do online multiplayer, they're like, you can't play with your friends. So it's just like, it's really weird, but I'm happy that they're adding it.
No, you can only have...
They add the Amiibo costumes, and then we're all set. Then I'm like, all right, this is definitively the perfect game.
No,
I wonder if it's because they didn't want to like go through the trouble of making a lobby system, because like when you play with randos, there isn't a lobby system. It's just like 4 random dudes choose a difficulty, and then
and I got stuck with Toadette. I didn't want Toadette. I want Luigi. Whatever. But yeah, it was it worked surprisingly well from what I've played, but also most of the Switch games with online multiplayer don't work very well. So I can foresee it not being the greatest if I try playing it more and more. But the next thing that I'm going to be playing after I'm finished with this video is probably I'll probably bang out story mode, and then I'll try out a little bit of the online multiplayer a bit more. But from what I've played, it works well, but it does have some weird little things about it.
I wouldn't be surprised if like most of the trouble. I mean, I think like most of the trouble with Nintendo's online stuff is a combination of like, one, they design their games around using as little data online as possible. Which
Yes, they do like do like that, because like their games, like other people's games are like 500 gigabytes and Nintendo's games are like 2 megabytes.
Yeah, they really want to make sure that when
Yeah.
you're using like your mobile data for Splatoon 2, you're not just like running up your Sprint mobile like plan. But of course,
That's
like
what they said in the board meeting.
yeah, but like,
It's like we gotta do this for our Sprint mobile customers.
but I think that like paired with the fact that like you probably like when you're playing online games on the Switch, you're probably playing with like so many people that are playing in handheld mode with like really weak Wi-Fi connections that just like it really like muddies things like really bad.
It's really weird that they decided to start online multiplayer with this game specifically.
Yeah,
And it's just like they can also like give you literally any level ever uploaded for Mario Maker for multiplayer. I'm
Yeah.
just like, there's so many things where I'm like, okay, this is cool, but why? Like, it's just like, why did you start with this game where there are specific levels that may not be designed for multiplayer?
I
It's
wonder
just
how like an auto scroller works on on online, where you just have like one person going through the little roller coaster ride, and then you just have like that one person in the back who keeps dying because they can't like keep
so
up.
it's just it's really weird. It's just like there's so many things where it's just like when I heard they announced that, I was so many things they probably have to account for with this online multiplayer mode. And then when it comes out, they were like, "No, we didn't account for anything. Like we just
Wait,
yeah." So it's just very odd, but you know, it's cool that it's there, but there's definitely some weird things with it.
Yeah. Takashi in the office just thought it'd be a good idea one day, and Miyamoto was like, "I like your shit. Let's put it in."
Yeah.
It's in the game now.
Oh man.
Well,
I'm pretty sure that's how most stuff happens at Nintendo. Miyamoto's just like, let's do that.
I feel like it's more like Miyamoto just bursts into a room and is like, "I have a new hobby." And they
Crypt
just
of the
get to work on
Necrodancer.
it. Look, I
Yeah,
mean,
because like that's how like Luigi's Mansion got around. I was vacuuming.
yeah, I was vacuuming and a plant fell over, and it was definitely a ghost.
Started thinking about Luigi a little bit there. You know, Pikmin is just like, I saw some ants. It was just like, oh.
Well, Pikmin was literally, I believe he said
He was
gardening.
gardening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
Yeah.
Nintendogs. I think Nintendogs plus cats. He was just like, I got a cat.
Yeah, it was that.
He was
Nintendogs,
just
he
like,
got
I
a
wanna make a
dog, and
game.
then he didn't want to put cats in it until he actually got himself a cat, and he was like, "Yeah, no, we can do cats now." It's the
Yeah.
trigger. Just need to get Miyamoto.
What's
some
Miyamoto
sort of-
working on now? What's his main thing he's working on, or is he just like generally overseeing stuff now?
What was the inspiration behind Star Fox Guard? Do you think he was like an intruder broke into his house one night, and so he set CCTV up around it?
He saw a kid playing
just
Five
spent-
Nights at Freddy on their iPod Touch, and when we can do that on a bigger budget. But yeah, I think
What was the mindset behind Project Giant Robot? What was he doing with that?
oh, it's that image of like him and Reggie in the cardboard boxes, like
Yeah.
Miyamoto. I do wonder actually what he's working on now, because maybe a port
I
of
think
Star
like
Fox
last thing he
Zero.
said was like he was specifically he wanted to oversee smaller projects and stuff like that. I think they're starting to know it's just like Miyamoto's getting older, probably gonna retire sometime. So they're probably getting ready because like we've been seeing a lot more fresh faces come out of Nintendo,
Yeah.
a lot younger people. So I'm pretty sure they're getting ready for the inevitable when Miyamoto retires.
Mhm.
Where they're just kind of like readying up the younger staff. which is a smart idea. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
you
it's
can't like
definitely a good
rely.
idea.
You can't rely on like the old farts that long. Even though I love them, but like they're gonna retire someday, so you gotta get some fresh blood in there.
Agreed. I realised I never actually said what games I've been playing this week. At the beginning of this, we just completely skipped over me.
Go for it.
Which
I have Tingle's Balloon Fight DS on my desk. So
Yeah.
if you have anything to combat that, let me know.
mate, I've beaten Tingle's Balloon Fight DS.
Yes.
Well, all right, never mind. I'm done. I don't have much else.
No, apart from Mario Maker, I've been playing Crypt of the Necrodancer. That's Spazzy saying it
Oh, yeah.
reminded me of it. I was like, oh
Yes.
shit, yes, I've been.
I
playing
want
games.
to try out Crypt of the Necrodancer before Cadence of Hyrule. I haven't played Cadence.
They're-
I want to actually try Crypt yet before.
So
Crypt is a lot harder.
Crypt is a lot harder,
lot
but they
harder.
feel very different. Like I
Yes.
was actually quite like playing Crypt and then getting ready to play Zelda and then realizing how different it felt and how different it sort of plays. I mean, obviously it plays the same, being moved to the beat, but all the Zelda elements they've added to the game really make it feel like its own thing. So
Well,
I think
yeah,
you could
like the
play
sprites
either.
are much bigger with Cadence,
And
from what
better.
I've noticed. They're basically using like more of a Minish Cap style with
Yeah.
that.
I don't know
so,
I don't know if it is the graphics or if it's just my familiarity with Zelda, but I found it a lot easier to memorize how all the enemies and bosses moved in
Oh,
that game
I
compared to
agree.
Crypt of the Necrodancer, where I just sometimes straight up forget what
Probably just
somebody
because
did.
like you're more accustomed to Zelda type games and like this is a much more like familiar style and stuff like that. Where Crypt is like a much smaller sprites. It's like a new like franchise sort of thing. That's just like from what I can tell.
The enemies are easier to recognize in
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cadence, like because the sprites are bigger and more colorful. Yeah, it does feel like its own thing because Crypt, the original Crypt, I feel like it is much more of like this roguelike where you go in and you do what you can and you die. And with Zelda, it's more like you have this overworld to explore and you have these Zelda items to gain, and you continuously get the heart containers and things. So you actually feel like even though you die and you get reset with your number of rupees and your temporary items, like you do feel much more of a sense of progression, I think. Like, would you agree with that?
Yeah, you do. I mean, I didn't actually die that much in Cadence of Hyrule. I think I died 4 times in total, and they were all pretty much right at the start of the game when I was just getting familiar with it. But yeah, no, it's you definitely feel more progress. You keep more stuff when you die. Like, I think the only items that you do lose are stuff like rupees and small keys and diamonds.
Is it
No, not
procedurally
diamonds.
generated?
So
Like,
yes, it is. It's weird because it doesn't feel like it is, but I've tested.
I just heard people
and-
like it's a 2-hour game, and then some of them, it took me 10 hours.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
So like the whole, I don't know about the dungeons. I'm assuming they are, but the whole
They are.
the whole world map is procedurally generated into like biomes. So when I did it, in my map, because I found it really strange because I had the forest, the Lost Woods, Death Mountain, and Gerudo Desert all on the top row basically, and there's a dungeon in each of them. So I had all three of the dungeons up right at the top, and then one of them was just south of the castle, and then I had no reason to ever go to the bottom left side of the map where the beach was. But then my mate tried it, and he started like in the middle of the map, went down straight away, and was instantly at the beach. And his beach went the complete opposite direction and everything. So like, and I've seen other people's as well where like it's not even like the squares. Like each say square of the map is already set up, and then it just generates where it will appear. They actually like buildings will move locations and move around. Not everything will be exactly where it is in the same, other than a few set pieces. Like I think Hyrule Castle is always in the middle of the map, and Link's house is always the same square.
Does it have like a good difficulty curve, even though like everything is kind of like?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
do you think like is there like a specific way these like dungeons should be in? Like, do you feel like they can all be tackled in any order you please?
Yeah,
Or,
I think they can be tackled
okay.
in any order. The way dungeon chests work, which is actually the problem I've got, because I'm a bit of a completionist, and there's one item in the game I'm missing, and you get it from a dungeon chest. But when you go to a dungeon chest, 3 items will appear, and you have to pick which one of them you want to get, and then the other 2 will disappear and show up at like the next dungeon chest with a new item. But the 3 items that appear are randomly generated as well. And if you run out of dungeon chests, they apparently appear in other chests around the map, but I can't for the life of me find this one. People keep reassuring me it is out there somewhere. But to no avail.
One thing I noticed, I don't know why I have to bring this up, but like this is something I've noticed with like Breath of the Wild was like, so like you can tackle any of the divine beasts in any order that you want.
Mm-hmm.
But like to me, like the Rito one was so easy.
Oh,
like, that was like
the easiest.
that was supposed to be like the first one that you do, but like the first one that I think everybody did was the
Zora one.
Zora, yeah. The Zora one.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, what the hell? Like,
I know,
it
seems
weird.
really weird because if you're directing people around, once you do Kakariko Village and you get the 4 divine beasts on there, the Ruto one is the closest one. And there's an exit out of the village that heads in that direction. So you would assume...
You run into the Zoras really quick. Like I feel
you run into what's his name? The dude that has like smiles a lot. Sidon, yeah. I haven't played. Oh, here's the thing. I haven't played Breath of the Wild for about a year, and I really want to again. But the thing is, like, my save file got deleted.
Oh shit! No.
Yeah, I beat it, but I was just like, oh damn. It's just one of those games where I'm just like, I really want to replay it, but like, I can't recapture that magic for a while of like experiencing it again.
Mm-hmm.
Or I have to wait a little longer to replay it, so then everything's like fresh again. But yeah, but like Sidon like appears randomly, where it's just like he kind of says it's just like, hey, you know, like you should move. You like we need you over here. So you like are like, okay, well I'll do that. But the Rito one is obviously like the one you should do first because it's the easiest one, and it ended up being like the last one that I did.
No, I think the because I did the Gerudo one second, and I feel like that's the hardest one.
Yes.
Like I feel like they intended that to be the last one because that's where you also fight the head of the Yiga clan, who are meant to be like recurring enemies throughout the whole game. And I found the boss for that one to be far more difficult than any of the other bosses. But
yeah, so you'd say Cadence is more like balanced with its difficulty curve.
Yeah, I would say
especially
so.
with it being like you could tackle anything in any order, but it maintains like this feeling of like, okay, it gets generally harder as time goes on. It doesn't feel like, oh, I tackled the easiest part of the game last or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like there was, unless I just tackled the dungeons in the like ideal order they wanted me to do them. Because I think I did Zora's Domain, Ice Dungeon, Lost Woods, Desert, and then the Tower of Hera before doing Hyrule Castle. And that seemed to progressively get harder and harder as I went through it. But nothing was forcing me to do that. I just happened to come across the Zora one first. And I just happened to decide that I couldn't be bothered to go up to the mountain at this point and decided to go to the Lost Woods and do that second. So I scratch this. I know why I did that now. So there's old women that you can buy potions from, but you can also get your fortune read from them. And if you're lost and you don't know where to do, they put a marker on your map saying, we think you should go
to the windmill or go here.
Yeah, go to the windmill, go see the Zora Prince, etc.
I was going to bring that up, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I did the dungeons in that order. So I think they do have a set route in mind, but I don't think it's forced on you. Because I can't think of any... I didn't get any particular item in the first dungeon that allowed me to get to the second dungeon.
Yeah, I don't know if there's an order either, but I did definitely always talk to the fortune teller women, so maybe I just...
Yeah.
That's just how I got there.
Yeah, so maybe they have maybe the only thing preventing you from getting to harder areas later is that there are difficult enemies around. But even then, I think... And I notice every time you beat a dungeon, harder enemies start appearing in the overworld. Like what Breath of the Wild did.
Did Breath of the Wild do that?
Yeah. You'll start to see, the more divine beasts you beat, you'll start seeing regular Lionels will just disappear, red bokoblins will disappear and start being replaced with blue ones and white Lionels and stuff. Like it progresses from like red to blue to black to white, I think, in that order. And
I noticed that enemies that I did see tougher enemies in earlier areas. I just never associated that with defeating the divine beasts.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what triggers it, defeating the divine beasts.
That makes sense.
Yes. But no, Cadence of Hyrule was a really good game. I enjoy Crypt of the Necrodancer as well. I've managed to buy every single object in that game now, so everything can appear within dungeons. And I've only got Zone 4 to beat because there are 5. Well, actually, I haven't beat Zone 5 to be fair, but I've of the main campaign, I've only got Zone 4 to beat, and then I'm done with it fully.
And that game, by the way, doesn't have Zelda music, but it does have great freaking music.
Oh yeah, both of them do. The remixes in Cadence of Hyrule are
obviously, yeah,
amazing.
Are some of the most amazing Zelda music I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I'm kind of upset it's not in Smash.
I would really like a Cadence Spirit or something. Like I kind of wish Smash would take more advantage of adding spirits in for releases, because they've just been doing them like randomly. Like we got Peachette like a month ago, just on our own.
I missed that one. That pisses me off.
Oh, I missed the Link's Awakening ones. That pisses me off.
I only got the owl. That was it.
I saw them announce it and I didn't see a date, and so I just like assumed it would.
Well, they'll get added to like the shop or something eventually. But
yeah, it's just waiting for it. It's waiting for the hero to come out, and then they'll add them all to the shop. But it's a pain in the bum. But yeah, I wish they'd do
DLC music for Smash. We would all pay for it.
Just random music tracks to add.
Yeah, just 10 music tracks, $5 or something. I'd do it. Easy.
There would be some damn good songs on there.
Better be some Final Fantasy songs on there.
All right, guys. Well, I have to get going soon.
Yes, that's fine. I was gonna start wrapping up because we're getting close to our 2-hour mark. So.
Yeah, I was about to say we have 4 minutes till we're supposed to be done here. So.
do you have it? So, Scott, do you have any final things you want to talk about, or any final words you want to say before I start wrapping this all up?
My nose is a vat of hell right now because I am just very congested, but no, not really. I had a great time talking to you. I think this is the first time I've ever done something with Source Gaming. Source Gaming was actually the first. So when I did my history of Smash Brothers rumors and leaks, Source Gaming was the only outlet I messaged my video to, because I was just I used them as a source. So I've always wanted to do something with them, and it's great to finally do that. I just remember, I think Connor told me about that, because Connor saw that, and he was just like, this guy talks too fast. But he kept watching my stuff, so that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. So,
yeah. No, it was great finally doing something with Source Gaming. I love Source Gaming.
Yeah, we should do more stuff together whenever you get a free moment. Cause
I know hopefully when I feel healthy.
Yeah.
I'll be a little more up and at 'em. But I think talking for 2 hours was actually good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the throat working, get the voices working.
Yeah. Well, my throat's better. My throat was bad at first, but now it's better. I just have my nose is dripping and garbage like that, and it's disgusting. So I'm just oh god. So hopefully I can just do. Yeah, I'm probably gonna edit this video. I'll do 2-minute increments, and then I'll sit down and I'll do 2-minute increments. I only have 7 more minutes to edit, so
okay.
It shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
I did the majority of it before the convention because I was worried something like this would happen. So the majority of it, I wrote it and I recorded the audio and edited the audio and all that. And I edited a bit of the video portion. And I tried to get started yesterday, but I was just no, it just wasn't gonna happen. It's been rough. I haven't been sick during the summer like this before, so it's a weird thing to do, but I'll get over it. Hopefully the worst of it's past, but
Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you for nearly 2 hours, Scott.
Well, thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you for nearly 2 hours as well.
Thank you. Why don't you I'm sure everyone already knows where they can find you, but Why don't you let
It's
people know?
just, yeah, it's just Scott the Woz on any social media platforms. If I'm not on it, I don't care about it. So I just have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And even then, I don't care about Facebook and Instagram that much. I mainly just go on Twitter. And even then, I don't tweet that much. So whatever. It's mainly YouTube.
Just
but,
watch the
yeah.
YouTubes. Watch all of the every Monday, right? That's when the videos go live, I believe.
Well, for me, it's Sunday.
Oh,
but
it's Monday for me, I suppose.
time zones, you know.
I know,
so,
right?
yeah. So it's always every Sunday night for me, but it might get a little wacky based on the time zone. I see the chat replay for me. I did look up the video. It's a little different for me. He says from Redder Dominator. Scott sounds different from his videos. I'm sick, man. So I don't sound that much different. I'm sick right now. Please.
They're on to us in our Scott impersonator.
Oh shit.
Also, one guy says, "Hey Scott, just want to let you know I've been aware of you. The CJS001 shouted you out." Yes, I remember that. That was crazy when that happened. Like I think he tweeted about my stuff, and also he put my stuff in an end card, and that was super cool when that happened. I like that guy.
Yeah, CJ's good. I'm meant to be doing something with him soon. I'm just waiting to hear back what day that's going to be.
Yeah, I specifically found him when he was doing like his Smash Brothers discussions during the Smash 4 days. I missed those days. Those were fun times.
Smash 4 Speculation was good. I preferred Smash 4 Speculation to Smash Ultimate Speculation.
Because we knew everything coming to Ultimate when it was first announced.
Yeah,
like at
much.
E3. That's why I say like Ultimate is really good, but Smash 4 was more fun because like anything could have happened, and like we had like 2 years of build up where we were just like, all right, what characters are gonna get the cut? What characters, like specifically, what characters are getting cut? And that was an interesting thing to discuss. And then Smash Ultimate, they were like, nah. everybody's
here's
back.
everyone, and now you're gonna wait.
So
2
yeah,
months.
that's cool. That was cool, but it was also like there wasn't much to speculate, so that was kind of that was a little disappointing. But you know, if I get everybody, that's hard to call disappointing.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna start wrapping this up and give a little shout out to CJ0. You should all go watch his videos as well, seeing as we just mentioned him. And I also, of course, want to give a shout out to our super patron, the Duke of Dorks. Link to his channel is, as always, in the descriptions down below, as well as a link to Scott's channel if for some reason you have not subscribed yet. And with that, I also want to thank Spazzy and Kawlun for joining me today as well.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Now, I am going to go off and play a bit more Mario Maker because this time tomorrow, 3 p.m. 4 p.m. BST, 11 a.m. EST, I shall be doing a Super Mario Maker live stream. So come along and watch that, and if you've got any levels, send them to me, and I'll play them on stream. It'll be fun. We'll have a good time.
With that, I'm gonna go pay some bills, man.
You go do that, Spazzy. All right, guys. Laters.
Later.
Have a good one.
Take it easy.